What I do know is I can smell the fireworks in the air. They must be new for the quarterfinals. Matt, we haven't had those clear. Do you need a drink of water?
Need something, yeah, right in the throat.
Well, out come the teams that the smoke from the fireworks is still clearing. England have coughed and spluttered, haven't they, during the course of this tournament?
They have.
Once again, we're expecting more. And here come the anthems. So we're looking down on the players of England and Switzerland shaking hands. There are only 6 teams left in the tournament now. And one of these two, Netherlands and Turkey, are going to be in the final. There's no hiding the fact that it has been a rocky road for England to this point. But Matt Hudson, here we are, sitting up here in this big grey rectangle, very close to the banks of the River Rhine in Dusseldorf. And we're about to watch England play Switzerland for a place in the semi-finals.
Yep, and we can talk as much as we like about who's playing, how we're playing, who's playing where, this formation, that formation. Some of this just really boils down to, John, who's going to turn up, who's got the will, who's got the energy to be able to produce at this level, to grind it out and sometimes drag a team through a tournament. It has felt like that through England, and we've done it pretty well so far in terms of that side of it. Can they do it again today?
Yes, if it was England's intention to not peak too early, it's been a resounding success on that front, but there is still time for England. And the players, I see a number of them just having a final swig of water. Harry Kane just exchanging pennants with Granit Xhaka, former Tottenham and former Arsenal. And the Swiss players move off to the right. Red shirts, maroon shorts. This unusual combination that they've got at this tournament. Red socks. And England again in the white shirts. Had blue shorts today, white socks. And England's team with the Prince of Wales, the President of the FA, watching down from the stands again, incidentally. England with Pickford in goal. The 3 central defenders, Walker, Stones and Konsa. So Ezri Konsa, his first competitive start in that back line. The Aston Villa man in for the suspended Mark Gay. And then Trippier back on the right, Mainu, Rice and Saka, Foden, Bellingham and Kane. That's the England starting lineup. Just the one change made by Gareth Southgate. And the Swiss, the same as they started when they knocked out the holders Italy in the round of 16. So the experienced Sommer in goal, the Inter goalkeeper, Cher of Newcastle, Akanji of Manchester City and Rodriguez, the 3 central defenders, and Doy on the right, Abisher on the left, Freuler and Xhaka in midfield. So that's that Bologna combination. And then Rida, Vargas and Embolo. You're just watching down, Matt, and I'm just wondering whether it might be actually.
I'm looking at Kieran Trippier on the left-hand side of the pitch. Yep, I think it's a back 4 with Konsa and Stones, Walker as right back and Kieran Trippier in the left back position.
So there we are. It's not 3 central defenders. And how much of a gamble is this? As England kick off here in Dusseldorf with the sun shining down, it's fired forward out for a throw into Switzerland in their left back position. Murat Yakin, the Swiss coach, said after the Italian game, we knew that if they played a back 4, we'd play through them. As the ball's played back to Sommer, who's able to clear it away, the Swiss goalkeeper, way downfield.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a confident statement from the manager, isn't it? And after seeing him do his lap of honour before the game, I'm not surprised he wasn't too confident after that game, but it was a factor, and against Denmark with that system it was difficult, but it's certainly, and I'm just looking at the pitch now, I mean, Kieran Trippier very high up on the left hand side at the moment, gone really advanced up at the halfway line with the ball with Jordan Pickford. Let's have a little look and see how this pans out.
Yeah, Pickford playing it out to the right-hand side. Of course, what we do know is that this 11 could be adaptable, because we saw that against Slovakia in the previous round when the chips were down. It's out of play for a throw into England, who are attacking, playing from left to right as we look from high up here on the dugout side of the ground. There's Foden playing the ball infield, but that just gives the ball back to the excellent and very much informed Granit Xhaka, a winner of the Bundesliga, this unbeaten season here in Germany with Bayer Leverkusen this past season, and beaten in the league, winning the cup and only losing out in the end in the Europa League final. As here is Akanji at the back, Premier League winner with Manchester City, up against a couple of his teammates, and Switzerland with the ball deep inside their territory, playing it out from the back on the far side up towards the halfway line, where it's taken down by Ndoye, and then Switzerland go back into their own half. This is 5 Live. We're also on the BBC World Service. Listen via BBC Sounds as well if you're on the move on this Saturday night, as Switzerland now with Rodriguez, his dark hair tied back behind his head, and he just knocks the ball in field. There's the Torino captain, although he's out of contract now, Rodriguez, and then across it goes to Fabian Schär, and the Newcastle man in his orange boots has his ball charged down by Bellingham, and it loops out of play on the halfway line. Let me tell you as well that this match today is live on BBC One if you're on the way home. Watch via the iPlayer, and as well you will be able to continue to listen to the 5 Live commentary via the iPlayer. Just look out for Euros Extra, and it's all synced up there together. That's the case for any live BBC TV match at this Euro 2024. Switzerland playing the ball out towards the left hand side, where Ebischer slightly behind him, came off his chest, and so it's a throw into England down the right.
They will look pretty fresh at the moment in terms of getting after the ball. It's been a bit of a rocky start in terms of possession. There's a bit of a spring in the step of the England players. They look like they've had a good bit of time to recover, and they're moving around the pitch with a bit of energy.
Well, it's been an interesting few days in terms of what the system would be, and here we are watching it now, and it is pretty much the same as before, just the one change, and actually the back four with Konsa coming in, a straight swap with Gay. Here's Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo now out to Saka on the right hand side. Saka's got 2 Swiss players in front of him, goes back to Kobbie Mainoo, then infield towards Phil Foden. Foden across towards Declan Rice, he drags it back, slips the ball forward to Foden again. This is good possession from England, trying to move the ball quickly, or more quickly. Saka now again, comes infield, left-footed cross, that's over everyone. Trippier was actually the man at the back post arriving, and it was over the top of him and through for a goal kick.
Yeah, nice move from Saka. You see him all the time wanting to get on that left foot, curls the ball to the back post. It's a little bit too much high, but what's interesting, John, Kieran Trippier is so high up the pitch. I mean, he's the man arriving at the back post there with Saka crossing the ball. That's how advanced Kieran Trippier is at the start of this game.
So Matt Upson, one of 3 England internationals that we've got with us for this 5 Live commentary. We've got Matt, the defender, Theo Walcott, the winger, and Izzy Christensen, the midfielder, who's down behind the goal that England are defending, and they have to defend now because it's played out to Ebischer on the left hand side. Walker slips, Ebischer plays it in towards the edge of the area, an attempted flick is cut out by Konsa, who went with him, and England clear it out by a deflection for a throw.
That's top play from Konsa. Really good defensive start to the game. Wasn't easy, it was on for the Swiss player just to flick the ball back, but I think Konsa got himself in a really good position, just blocked it with his feet as he tried to kind of croif the ball back to an oncoming midfield player arriving on the edge of the box. It was good position from Konsa.
Let's bring in Theo Walcott as well after all the talk before the game about the system. Theo, what do you think now?
To be honest, it's quite interesting. It's going to keep the Swiss guessing, I feel, because we can sort of interchange, and I'm looking at Bukayo Saka particularly because he's been a bit deeper than Kobbie Mainoo and Declan Rice at times in a defensive sort of structure. I feel like we still are playing a 3, but it's a bit disjointed if you're thinking of Trippier's high and wide. It's very odd to see, isn't it?
It is, and because Trippier's on the left, but Trippier's position is of a wing back, so it's interesting that he's kept Trippier on the left hand side,
completely thrown
played Saka on the right, and it could well be at the moment it does look like a back 3, but Kieran Trippier is playing left wing most of the time. He's that advanced up that side that you feel he is just dropping those 3 centre backs in, with Saka on the right still, keeping him in that position.
Yeah, right at the moment, very much a back 3.
Yeah,
with Trippier almost as in the advanced left wing. So the ball with John Stones. Here is Konsa towards the left hand side, and then back towards John Stones again, winning his 77th cap. John Stones, which takes him level with the great Terry Butcher, a good friend of ours on BBC Radio. Mainoo playing the ball infield towards Rice, and then Bellingham out to Trippier on the left hand side, then Bellingham, scorer of 2 goals at the tournament. Bellingham, lovely ball to Saka, but rather kicked up at him. Saka was able to chest it down though, and then back to Walker with the ball in, which is cleared away, but the offside flag was up. It was swept away on the volley, the half volley by Akanji, but the flag was up, and free kick to the Swiss.
Yeah, lovely weighted pass from Jude Bellingham. Saka just goes a fraction too early, but the weighted pass was lovely. It skipped on up in the air, and we've looked quite bright actually when being on the ball. And what I like a couple of times, it's been delivered really quickly. There's a bit more purpose to our play with the ball. Kyle Walker especially a couple of times just looking to put the ball in early and just put the Swiss defence under pressure.
Switzerland playing it out from the back. Here's the captain, Xhaka, who plays it back towards the edge of the penalty area. They have to be sharp there, and Doy, who's kept his place in the team, and Doy, so the Swiss are unchanged as Vidma, who was suspended for the match against Italy, is not back in the team, is on the bench. Rodriguez plays it forward, cleared away by Walker, but only back to the Swiss. Now centre field, it's Abisha who moves into that position. They are very fluid, this Swiss side. This Swiss team, like England, have won 2 and drawn 2 at the Euros. Now on the right hand side, and Doy takes on Trippier, and Doy's ball across is cleared away by Menu, just arriving back there in the nick of time on the edge of the 6-yard box, left footed out for a throw.
Well, that's a little taster of what a powerhouse Ndoye is. I watched him play more central down the middle. I think it was a game earlier on in the tournament. He absolutely shrugged off and left the centre back with pace for dead. I mean,
scored against Germany.
That's right, and he just showed there to Kieran Trippier. He faces you up 1v1. Not only has he got that sharpness of movement, Theo, but he's got the strength as well. It was a nice move from him, wasn't it?
Really interesting to see. That really just made me smile then, because I know it was against England, but it was an old school winger sort of movement. He's gone on the outside instead of the inverted wingers who like to come inside. He just said, I'm going to get at you straight away. Next time he gets the ball, Trippier's going to drop off him. You're asking the question of the fullback at times, and it's really good to see.
He's got great pace and power.
Akanji just knocking the ball forward towards Xhaka on the halfway line, then back to Akanji, and to his right to Fabian Schär, who goes for the long crossfield pass towards the left hand side. Vargas is there, is able to get it down. Walker goes tight. Vargas taking on Walker, right footed cross, headed away by Konza, did well, but it's come out to the Swiss. Ball on the right hand side, back towards Freuler inside the area, then back out towards the right flank. In comes the cross, that's headed away by John Stones on the edge of the 6-yard box. Harry Kane is back there, and then Xhaka is able to get a touch on that, and the Italian referee Daniele Orsato says play on. Daniele Orsato might be his last match before retirement in this quarter-final, and you can tell already the movement, the way that the Swiss are playing, this is very much out of the playbook that we've seen from them at the tournament.
You know, it's really fascinating to see as well. I've had the pleasure of playing with Granit Xhaka on the ball now, and he's a dictator. He dictates the sort of the time. Look how calm he is on the ball right now. Look, there's no pressure on the ball, and that's the problem right now. England are going to have to put pressure on him, because he's going to control the midfield, and that's where it's going to be won today.
Yeah, England sitting off Granit Xhaka, who was 15 yards inside the England half. The ball came to a stop. He put his foot on it, then moved it back towards the halfway line, and the Swiss in possession with Freuler, the Nottingham Forest man, who is one of the Bologna players on loan this season. Then into Embolo inside the area, right in with a challenge. Embolo still might be able to get it across, which he does, but he slipped as he crossed it, and it went straight behind for a goal kick. And just the ball banging into the advertising hoardings behind the goal, defended by Jordan Pickford, which is very close to where you're sitting, Izzy Christiansen.
Yeah, and the national anthem, by the way, gave me goosebumps. What a noise. It was electric. And then I'm feeling from the lower tier just behind me a bit of angst, because I think the fans are figuring out the formation just as much as we are up there in the commentary box.
Have you figured it out yet, Izzy?
Absolutely not. I've got a rubbish view, to be honest with you.
Here is Foden near the edge of the area, just heading it down for Trippier. Then back towards Rice. Had to stretch for that, Declan Rice. Then back to Menu, and now it's the Swiss who have dropped back behind the ball, and it's England in possession with Kyle Walker. Walker to the right-hand side to Bukayo Saka. Again, they've got 2 men on him. Walker, Rice makes himself available, and then England go back towards Stones and Konza on the halfway line. Konsa seems to have settled well, Matt.
Yeah, cracking header as well a moment ago. Really good delivery from Vargas into the box, and Konsa getting his head on it. I've got to say, the two Swiss wide men have been absolutely superb, with Ndoye on the right-hand side and Vargas. They've really shown how much quality they have and the speed and change of direction. They look in razor-sharp condition. They're going to be a problem today. The Swiss have moved the ball about lovely when they've had it.
Yeah, right now the Swiss have dropped very much back into 5-4-1 with Aebischer in the left back position, the left wing back position, and England still with the ball with Phil Foden over there on the far side. Phil Foden, who we've seen glimpses, flashes of what he might be capable of doing. I was like Theo Walcott, I like the way that he sounded before the start of the match, but here's John Stones playing it to the left hand side to Konsa, and they'll go all the way back to Jordan Pickford.
John, it was quite fascinating to see when Konsa had time on the ball. Jude Bellingham made a run.
Pickford playing it up towards the halfway line, back to Theo in a moment, but Bellingham receives that and just glides out towards the far side. Harry Kane comes deep. Kane, like Bellingham, 2 goals now at the tournament. Bellingham's crossfield pass to Saka. Saka takes on and beats Aebischer, but there are 2 men there in front of him as well, so Walker has to join in. Then back to Saka, who's looking to come in field. A touch from Kane, then Foden, control from him. Rice back to the left hand side, that's where Bellingham is now. Bellingham back centrally towards Foden, square from him to Mainu just drags it back in front of his body, then takes it on, low ball to Bellingham on the edge of the penalty area in the D. Round 2 defenders tried to find Trippier, but then it broke down and the Swiss were able to break it.
That's exactly what I'm saying now. You were making runs in behind. It's all good and well, sort of putting it left and right, of course, but they're going to be very well organised. We need those runs in behind, which you've just seen another little incident there of Harry Kane making a run, just to keep them guessing. That's not always defeat.
It's 0-0. England 0, Switzerland 0. 5 Live, also on BBC One. Saka beats Aebischer. Right-footed cross. Trippier got his head to it. Comes out to Rice. Low shot. That's deflected right across the penalty area and is stabbed away by Vargas out for a throw.
He looked good circulating the ball outside the Swiss box, to be fair. Really good sharp passing. Foden, Bellingham looking to connect, looking to find a little bit of space, and you feel you could just give it into any of them and they'll find a solution with the ball in those tight areas. Declan Rice just having an effort there as the ball spun out to the edge of the 18-yard box, but when we have it around the box it looks pretty good.
Still waiting for the opening goal with almost 15 minutes played here in the sunshine. Temperature's great as well, not too hot here. Konsa turning, playing it back towards the edge of the penalty area, and then Jordan Pickford is able to control this. I remember in the Nations League back in 2019, Jordan Pickford, when England played Switzerland in the 3rd place match, smashing in a penalty and then making the save in the shootout that won it for England. Saka back to Walker, picks out the pass to Foden, that's more like it, and then Foden, lovely ball, spreading it wide to Trippier, and then the offside flag goes up. In fact, Trippier just strayed beyond the back line.
He's that high up the pitch that he's offside on that pass, and it's basically Trippier on his own on the left hand side at the moment. Kyle Walker's a lot deeper, and Saka almost is a lot deeper than Trippier, and you just feel Foden is coming that far inside. Bellingham is shifting over to the left, maybe a bit more than Foden, but it just feels like Trippier's got that whole left flank to himself, and he's just going to get right up the pitch, and it leaves Konsa with a little bit more space around him to have to deal with.
And as well, it's really clear to see Phil Foden is definitely enjoying himself.
Yeah,
he's getting on the ball at times. He always wants it. He gets frustrated if there's a ball that's played back to the goalkeeper, for goodness sake. So look, he's a man who's out there to actually prove a lot of people wrong.
Yeah. It's given away by Akanji. It's won back by Rice. Now Bellingham back to Rice, whose ball is into Kane inside the penalty area. Kane lays it back to Mainu with a shot that is blocked by Rodriguez. However, it's still in play. Bounces to Rice. Rice's cross that hits Xhaka. Then in goes Harry Kane, who is challenged by Cher, and Kane goes down in a heap. He's appealing to the referee. Referee Osato was adamant that was a goal kick. Final touch off Kane, but Kane as the captain is pleading his case and stating his case to the referee.
Well, I think he's got a bit of a case, to be honest. I mean, there is contact. He wins the ball, Kane. I don't think Shah gets anything of the ball. Well, if he does, it's after he's caught a bit of Kane. It's whether or not there's sufficient contact to knock him to the floor, and I think that's why the referee has chosen not to give it, which I can kind of understand, to be honest.
As Sommer plays the ball out from the back. There was a shout, Theo?
I mean, as a forward, I want that all day. No, it's not clear and obvious. I think the referee probably made a very good decision there, to be honest.
Probably not enough contact.
Yeah, I think he just gets her before
You're not sure here. You're not sure. You want to say it was a penalty?
Of course I do. That's my
I think it was the right decision. England 0, Switzerland 0. Comes back to Pickford, who controls the ball inside the penalty area, and then to the halfway line where Kane is trying to turn against Akanji, but it bounces down, and Switzerland have got it back and will play it all the way back to their goalkeeper. Sommer turns it back out to Cher, who's right over there in a shaft of sunlight on the far side of the ground. Goes it up towards Embolo, but Mainoo's in to tigerishly win it back. And Mainoo now, the Manchester United teenager, takes it into the edge of the penalty area, but then got a heavy touch, and that carried it through the goalkeeper.
Yeah, a good little bit of strength from Mainoo. Really shrugs off Embolo as he had a bit of a loose touch of the Swiss centre forward, and it popped back into midfield, and he got his body in there and went, no, this is going to be mine. Rode the challenge, and he's got a lovely kind of change of pace, Kobbie Mainoo. When he gets that little stride away from somebody and he toes the ball towards the goal and he gets after it, he really is dynamic with his movement. Not many people are going to reel him back in.
I think it's interesting, isn't it, what Gareth Southgate and Steve Holland have done here. They made just the one change, but there are tweaks here and there, aren't there?
Plenty of tweaks.
And they are looking better. And Rice in with a challenge on Embolo, who dropped into his own half, and then Declan Rice runs away. I thought for a moment there that Osato might be just having a think about that in terms of stopping play being started. Declan Rice is not one of the England players who is on a yellow card, by the way, and in danger of missing a potential semi-final. Bellingham, Foden, Mainoo and Trippier are all one yellow card away from a suspension. Here is Freuler towards the left-hand side. Embolo back to Freuler inside the box. Walker was able to just move in alongside him, clears it into the Swiss player Freuler, who then fouls Walker, and it's a free kick to England inside that penalty area.
He does well. Kyle Walker gets his body in the right side. Nice play from the Swiss link-up, and Freuler, who has been a real goal threat in this tournament. He's a midfield player that loves to arrive in the box. He's actually in great goal-scoring form. He just gets kind of manoeuvred out of the ball by Walker, who then wins the foul afterwards.
He didn't show of his best, did he, when he was at Forest?
No.
For that season, that difficult season. But what a fine season they've all had, these Bologna players. They'll be in the Champions League next season. We'll all be eating spaghetti bolognese if we go there. Here is Bellingham. Bellingham now over the halfway line for England. Now to Saka on the right-hand side. 3 men around him. They know the danger of the Arsenal top scorer, and in actual fact he's dispossessed by Vargas. They haven't cleared the penalty area yet. Rodriguez then back to Akanji, who does so on his left foot. There are shouts from the Swiss supporters that Walker may have fouled Embolo. Great colour to our right, the Swiss fans with their flags and their cowbells, no doubt. Here's Foden on the right-hand side. Foden gets support from the Manchester United man, Kobbie Mainoo.
It's miles better pressure when they have the ball. Certainly when the Swiss back three and the goalkeeper rolls back to them, John, we're getting after it much better. That, you know, they're not able to play out or really get through us at the moment, and they're turning the ball over, England winning it and then starting another piece of possession.
Well, when I was speaking to them yesterday, to Gareth Southgate, Jordan Pickford, you know, clearly the obvious question was, what will the circumstances of the win against Slovakia have done for the team? You know, can it galvanise them? And they've had a week to work on this. They've had all week since Sunday to work on it. There's been the unhappiness from within the squad about the talk of the 3 central defenders leaking out. But here we are already against better opponents. Switzerland ranked 19th in the world. Foden, that's a lovely ball into the penalty area to Saka. His ball across low, it's cleared away by Cher. There was no one in there for England. And so Cher's clearance looks away high behind the goal for a corner.
That's where Foden wants to have the ball. Central on his left foot, being able to pick a pass. Lovely time run from Saka out to in. Brings the ball down, gets past his man, zips it straight into the 6-yard box. And I think Harry Kane had been involved in the build-up and just wasn't in that central area. It was crying out just for somebody to be right in the middle of the goal for a tap-in.
So it's the first corner of the match. It's England's. Ezri Konsa, I notice, new in the team, is just putting himself into a position near the goalkeeper. So Trippier will take this. It's a deep one. It's over Bellingham. Kane gets his head to it, but well wide of goal. He got that all wrong with the timing and just headed it rather meekly back across goal, and it dropped out for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think doing a couple of little practice attempts now. It's one of those when you duff your golf swing, John, and then you kind of then do another one just to show that you can swing it properly. It was one of those from Harry Kane. Just got it all wrong. Not that I duff a golf swing that often.
Not at all. That's like me heading the ball though. That was. Goodness me, I've never had it in my life.
Yeah, come England. That's a poor clearance from Sommer from the goal kick, and Foden has picked out Bellingham. Bellingham controls it, left side of the penalty area. Bellingham goes for the byline, pulls it back. Xhaka was there, very calm, very cool, but just to control it, just to kill it, and then it's played out to Embolo. But Esri Konsa was able to out-muscle him, although Embolo is not best pleased with that. No free kick though given by the Italian referee.
Brilliant from Rice though, John. I mean, Konsa does well, use his body to put Embolo off, but Declan Rice, the instinct, it's just looked a far better England performance in terms of snappiness, getting after the ball. Declan Rice showing that there, his usual self, dropping back in the moment he has a loose touch, is in there to take the ball off the toe of the centre forward, and England go again, and we're starting to build a little bit of kind of pressure and momentum on the Swiss back three, certainly.
Yep, England 0, Switzerland 0. I hope you're enjoying it with us on 5 Live. It's on BBC One if you're on your way home, if you've just got in your car. And you can actually continue to listen to us via the iPlayer red button, BBC Sport website and app. Just look for Euros Extra and it's all linked up, synced up to the pictures. Free kick to England then. Not really threatened with set pieces at this tournament. Foden swings it in all the way across the back line. Saka, I think, is going to struggle to pull it across, which he does, and then Sommer comes and makes the catch, and then very belatedly the assistant flags that it has gone behind.
Should have gone up straight
or was
away.
that for offside? Must have been for offside.
Well, as
there offside?
There can't be an offside. It just, I think it had gone out and he just wasn't sure.
There can't be a reason not to flag,
just delayed it.
Being out of play.
I think it was just indecision, John.
Short goal kick is taken and Sommer had to chip that out over the top of Foden. This is very cool from Switzerland. Kanji and Walker is able to get to it. Ball bounces back. John Stones is able to allow the ball to run and then head it back to Pickford.
What's very clear to see as well, the press and the triggers are so high up the field and not giving any time and space for Switzerland to come out, and that's the difference. They're allowing them to have the ball in our half, which is fine, but when it's in their half, the England team right now are putting so much pressure on. You know, they're not giving them a chance to get out, and it's really, really fascinating to see. It's what we wanted to see is an England sort of setup.
Bellingham hooks it forward. It's going to come back at the England defence though, and now it's in Embolo on the edge of the penalty area. Konsa blocks it. Konsa then stabs it away, and he stabbed it out to Kane, although Kane is dispossessed. Granit Xhaka holds off Foden, towering over him, using his strength. Granit Xhaka, who we should add has been an injury doubt, Granit Xhaka, because of an adductor injury that he has. So I do wonder whether he's been able to play a full part in training this week. Xhaka in possession though. Embolo, now here is Varga, and then Varga with a pass behind the defence. Stones just got there first, and his deflection took it back to Pickford, who cleared to the halfway line.
I mean, that is lovely from Varga. It really is. I've been hugely impressed with him this tournament. He looks a top player. Just flicks the ball with the outside of his boot. I don't even know how he saw the pass, but he knew the space that was going to hurt England, and he just fed it in there for a runner that very nearly got on the end of it. He's such a clever player.
He scored that super goal, didn't he, against Italy, the clincher. Vargas of Augsburg plays his football here in Germany. Here's Xhaka, and here he is again, Vargas, towards the edge of the penalty area, bounces off him, and then Kobbie Mainoo is challenged, and that's a foul which is very much disputed by Granit Xhaka, who perhaps you won't be surprised to hear, listeners, is one of the Swiss players who is one yellow card away from suspension. Down to pitch side, Izzy Christiansen.
Yeah, that interception from John Stones was right in front of me. It was such an important toe he got on the ball, because there is no surprise that man that you just mentioned there, Granit Xhaka, when he gets the ball fizzing around, he can cause problems, but high concentration from John Stones and Konsa right in front of me. So far, excellent job from them.
25 minutes played. England 0, Switzerland 0. 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC. John Stones passing the ball long towards Bellingham. Is able to get that down. Bellingham. I don't think England were too concerned about whether he might receive a ban after his gesture to to his friends and family. He said after the Slovakia game that a suspended one-match ban for Jude Bellingham. Switzerland had it on the right-hand side. It's brought forward by Cher actually up the right wing, and then out of play for what is given as a throw to Switzerland. In fact, the referee, I think there was a bit of a breakdown in communications. It is given to England, and they take it back towards the edge of the penalty area. How debilitating, by the way, is an adductor injury? Would you say? Well, I mean, we don't know exactly the extent of it.
Well, it's significant. Certainly when you strike the ball, but it's more of a stabiliser kind of injury. So whether or not there's a time limit that Granit Xhaka can play today, we'll have to wait and see.
Here come England. Bellingham striding down the left wing, ball at his feet, and then checks, gives it back to Rice. Still 0-0 if you've just switched on this Saturday evening. The tennis, by the way, Wimbledon is over on Sports Extra, but Cameron Norrie and Harriet Dart both out. Here's Foden infield towards Rice. Rice then back towards the halfway line. Stones now. Kyle Walker lifts a pass forward to Saka down the right-hand side. He gets that down. Abish is with him. Saka's got the better of him. Saka's ball across into the path of Akanji, who is able to calmly clear it away first time. Again, Saka posing problems, asking questions of the left-hand side of this Swiss defence.
Yeah, great pressure again though. As soon as the Swiss get the ball back, they're getting frustrated. England so high up on the press, not allowing them any space at all, but it's classic Saka. Just comes into him, he uses his body to roll Aebischer. Can't do anything about it because he gets the wrong side of him, and if he touches or clips his heel, he's going to go down for a penalty. He had to kind of back off, and again they do defend that 6-yard box well. They've got those 3 centre halves to Swiss, and normally Akanji's just in the right place at the right time.
Throw-in taken by Switzerland, but Walker just steps in, heads it forward, comes back to Rodriguez, who couldn't keep the ball in. It's a throw-in to England, which will be brought back even though Switzerland were bringing the ball away. Saka's very like Foden, I feel, Matt, at this tournament, in that we've seen flashes, glimpses. They've both had the ball in the net. Yep. It's been ruled out for offside. But both of them today more promising.
They've just both started the game far better, as you'd expect Saka and Foden to play. Foden just looked happy as on the right-hand side and central. Bellingham's kind of taken a more left-sided role slightly, but they're both in that central role, which really does suit Phil Foden, and you're seeing better things from him.
Bellingham bursting forward, but Akanji was up to head it away. Now here's Saka on the right-hand side. Back it comes Mainoo. Foden, then to Bellingham, very congested in there on the edge of the area. Bellingham finds some space on the right-hand side, peels away, and then curls it in. And Xhaka at close quarters actually just heads it down behind and out for another corner to England on the right.
I mean, do you think it's quite difficult to know for Switzerland how to deal with them? I think that they're still figuring this game out. We're talking about England, but this is very different for them as well, Theo.
Yeah, they're asking questions consistently, England. You know, the fact that we're seeing Bukayo Saka going in behind as much as I've ever seen him in this whole tournament and the way he plays. He's a player who likes it to feet, he likes to get out his players, but he's always asking the question to the fullback, which is now allowing him space to obviously get the ball at feet right now.
The referee, this corner for England, Kieran Trippier just using the front of the shirt to wipe his brow. The referee's just telling Esri Konsa to behave himself. He's standing in front of Sommer, and it's taken short by England. Back to Saka. Now Kobbie Mainoo. Square for him into Walker. I think this is going to break down for England. Foden goes back to Walker, who's got to be careful here, which he is, and actually from the set piece, from the corner, just a couple of slightly misplaced passes, and it was back with Pickford, who fires it forward. Saka's going to do well to keep that in, and then Trippier might have been fouled. No, the referee says play on after the challenge on him from Rieder, and now Freuler for Switzerland. But Trippier comes across, and Switzerland have to just go back halfway inside their own half.
I mean, they just need to get the ball a little bit quicker to Ndoye and Vargas, really, Switzerland, if they're going to get at England. Both of them have started very brightly, but Ndoye especially hasn't seen a lot of the ball in the last 10 minutes or so, and he's just constantly hanging out on that right side of the pitch with Trippier's back in that left back position at the moment with one eye on him, but I think the width for them is so key.
There's Rodriguez on the left-hand side. I just heard the familiar rattle of the cowbells in the background in amongst the Swiss fans. They're attacking, and it's with Ebischer, who goes infield to Akanji just in front of the centre circle.
You listen to cowbells a lot, do you, John?
Well, I'm familiar. I've got agricultural roots. Here's Embolo, lays it off, ball into the edge of the area, just rattles around, and it's cleared away towards the halfway line. It would have been a great atmosphere. One thing I did at this tournament was actually walk from the centre of Dusseldorf to this stadium, which is about 3 miles along the River Rhine, and a lovely atmosphere between the supporters. I can imagine today in the sunshine with all of the cowbells.
You didn't do that. You did that today?
No, I didn't do it today. I did it ahead of the France-Belgium.
So that wasn't on Gary's schedule.
Yes, Rodriguez with the cross goes all the way towards the far side. England have got to be careful here. In comes the cross to the near post. That's cleared away rather awkwardly by Konza. Comes out to Bellingham, who gets the ball under control, and Bellingham now all on his own sets off on a run up the left hand side, and then is leaned into by Cher, who knew that Bellingham was past him. That's a free kick, and it's a yellow card for Cher, who pointed himself as if to say, for me? Who, me? Me? Yeah. You probably did that at your time.
Absolutely. He just doesn't match the run. Really positive play from Jude Bellingham. He knocks it down the line, and Cher's having a moan up, but he doesn't make any effort to run alongside Jude Bellingham at all. He just wants to run across him. He thinks he's being clever, that they're just going to collide. But I think the referee's got it spot on. He hasn't competed for the ball whatsoever. He just wants to block his run. Knocked him to the floor, and he's got his yellow card for it. And it's a silly move from Cher, because he doesn't really need to do that there, but he's put himself under pressure now.
Yeah, it is. That's the first yellow card of this match, this Euro 2024 quarter-final. England 0, Switzerland 0. Switzerland who've not beaten England since 1981. Lovely turn by Menu to take it away from Freuler, and now Menu carrying the ball right at the heart of the Swiss defence, gives it to Trippier. Trippier's ball across. I think that struck a hand outside the penalty area. Foden with an overhead kick across the box, blocked by Granit Xhaka. Saka then missed it, and then Granit Xhaka goes down very, very easily after a minimal touch from Bukayo Saka, and wins a free kick.
Super silky Mainu, that, wasn't it? I mean, that's twice now he's gone past. That one was special because the ball comes into him. You've got to have such an awareness of space. He knows exactly where the space is, the parameters of the players coming in, lets it roll across his body, and once he's gone, how he drives with the ball, Theo, it's just amazing to watch, isn't it?
You know, it's incredible as well, because the great thing about him as well is this timing of his pass. He knows when to release the ball as well, and not to overcommit himself. And it was beautiful to see him in motion as well. Like you say, he's quicker than you think as well.
Big stride, isn't he? Once he opens his legs, he really does chew up the ground and make some real gains into that area of the pitch where he's just driving at the edge of the 18-yard box.
How old is he again?
Oh, no.
19.
There we go.
No. And Harry Kane has just actually gone to the referee and said, hang on, you've given a free kick against Menu there, and
I think it was Saka,
against Saka rather, and he said, what about the handball? And Freuler did actually handle the ball outside the penalty area, and the referee let that go. Here's Akanji carrying it into the England half. In comes the challenge from Trippier, but Konza has to go out there. The cross comes in from out wide from Cher. With Konza arriving, he's just actually landed it in amongst the England fans, straight in there. I thought it might have taken a deflection. It didn't. It's a goal kick, England.
Well, we're limiting the Swiss play to scraps, really. They're struggling to get the ball into our box with any quality and build up any play. It's been very impressive from England in the last 15 minutes, John, I will say.
Yes, but of course, what do you need to do in a knockout match?
No, you do.
When you're on top.
You do, but it's, baby steps. Get the performance right, get the players feeling good, get the individual players performing at their best, which I think opening 35 minutes of this game, England have done that, and then where's it going to take you?
Well, Switzerland are waiting for England to make the mistake as well. We can't let them play into their hand. They don't create much. They've always play off sort of scraps and mistakes, I felt in this tournament watching them. But yeah, England right now are really hindering the Swiss right now.
Yeah, they have scored 7 goals at the tournament, which makes them one of the leading scorers. Scored in every match. Knocked out Italy, drew with Germany, but did draw with Scotland, the 1 point that Scotland got in the group. Rice bringing it forward. Trippier now with the first time pass. He was looking for the run of Bellingham, but it was just intercepted by Cher. So there might be some spaces here at the back for Switzerland, but no, Konza's able to step forward, does well. Then gives it to Bellingham, who's still out on the left-hand side. Bellingham rolls in field, beats his man. Still Bellingham now powerfully across the field from left to right. Then rolls the pass to Saka. Saka's left-footed ball into the area. It's allowed to run by Bellingham, but it just deflected off his leg as it went, I think, through his legs and through to the goalkeeper.
Well, every now and then you just see a silky move from Jude Bellingham. They just pop up in the game, and that was one of them. Little kind of Maradona turn, then a scoop of the foot, a step. I mean, I don't even know. I can't describe what it was. All I know is it was good. And then he offloads the ball. I mean, he's just such a surge of energy, isn't he, when he does that? And then he needs a minute or so just to settle down, regather, so he can go again, John. And
it reminded me of a Zidane. You know, that sort of Zidane would glide with the ball. He's got that upper body, isn't he? They're just able to move, and he's so smooth with it.
He went all Ron manager there, didn't he?
He did.
Here is Freuler to Granit Xhaka. It's still 0-0. England 0, Switzerland 0. And actually, despite all of this promising play, I look at my list of goal-scoring chances for either side.
Yeah,
I haven't made one.
There's no list.
There is no list. Null. Switzerland with it on the right-hand side. So they are proving to be quite well matched, and they do carry a threat. We can see that from the Swiss, that's for sure. Embolo slips, unfortunately for him, so Stones back to Saka, and then Walker inside the box, didn't clear it and is being forced to take it away into the full-back position, which he does now launch it high into the air, and it drops out of play on the halfway line next to some Swiss supporters down there in the old style tracksuit tops, red with the white trim and Swiss written across the back. Throwing to Rodriguez, and then back to Akanji, who takes it into his own half. Half-time is fast approaching. We're in the 38th minute. It's flown by. It has. Akanji, then up towards Embolo. 7,000 England fans officially inside the ground here. The red and white flags are draped in every section of the ground, apart from where all of that splash of red is over the two tiers, with sun shining on them there.
The two players, in terms of Konza and Mainoo, the more inexperienced level, have been excellent in this first half. Kobbie Mainoo in the middle of the park has been absolutely brilliant in and out of possession, and Konza's been very solid as well.
Excellent from Foden there, but it breaks down on the halfway line. Embolo, and to Freuler. Freuler just allowing the ball to roll across to his right. He's got Ndoye out there on the right-hand side, and Ndoye now up against Trippier, takes him on. Then Rice comes across and forces Ndoye. Forces the error, just knocks it past Rice, but straight through for a goal kick. 0-0.
It's going to need that on that side this afternoon. It's going to need Declan Rice. As soon as Ndoye faces Trippier up one-on-one, he has to get himself across there like he just did then, because he's such a handful physically that it's very difficult to stop for Kieran Trippier. He just needs that support over there.
They've clocked that though, haven't they? They are aware of that.
I think so, yeah.
So it is goalless, and Pickford will take this goal kick. It's a long one, looking for Harry Kane, lands on his back as he leans into Rodriguez, and the ball bounces to Akanji, who gives it back to goalkeeper Sommer. So Akanji now in possession. What an excellent signing he's been for Manchester City for only £15 million, remember. Part of the treble winners last season, and that further success this season. And Akanji receives it again and walks it out of the penalty area, but Harry Kane just arrives in front of him. So out to the right hand side to Cher, playing in the same part of the pitch as his Newcastle United teammate Kieran Trippier, who actually for the time being has dropped back. Trippier on the left hand side, Shaw on the bench again. Long pass forward this time for Embolo to chase, but Walker gets there first. Now Saka back to Kyle Walker, who's got space. Pickford wants it, so Walker with his right foot just knocks it back into the penalty area, and then Pickford out towards the left-hand side to Ezri Konsa, winning his 6th cap for England. Oh, Rice almost slips. That could have been big trouble, but he was able to recover and give it to Mainu. And now Kyle Walker is over the halfway line and moving infield, then through the middle to Phil Foden with his back to goal, back to his Manchester City teammate Walker. Rice allows it to run over there towards the left-hand side. Then it comes back to Walker, who hits a high pass to Rice, who didn't have much chance with that, but was able to head it back to Ezri Konsa. Into the last 5 minutes of the first half, and still it's 0-0, and still neither goalkeeper has been extended. Stones in front of his own penalty area, then back to Jordan Pickford. Konsa just backs away and then returns the ball to Pickford, who will pass it out to Mainu, and then Mainu back to Pickford, who side foots it back into the left full-back position. Still in their defensive third. Konsa actually goes for the long pass up towards Harry Kane, who's beaten easily in the air by Akanji. Rice, though, plays it to the left-hand side to Bellingham. Now Rice, and then back it goes into the back line again. What England have done, though, we talked, didn't we, about the space for Bellingham and Foden, and the two of them have very much found their own space here, with Foden mainly on the right-hand side.
And Bellingham happy to be on the left and work that channel when he needs to, and pick up areas on the far left side of the pitch now on the ball, and it suits. It's actually working well. They're keeping that distance apart so that they're not overcrowded and making life easy for the Swiss midfield just to deal with it.
So still waiting for the first attempt on target. England have had 3 according to the facts and figures here. Switzerland have had 1, and it is 0-0. Konsa. Here is Foden, who is actually over towards the left-hand side for once in this game, and Bellingham's more central. Rice. Now John Stones again. Stones, who had his knee very heavily strapped after the Slovakia game, but is okay to continue this run of starting all of the matches in Gareth Southgate's 4 tournaments. Quarter-finals or beyond in all 4 of them. No other England manager's done that. Here's Saka now. He's able to find a position to shoot, but that bounces away off Cher to the halfway line and out of play for a throw-in to England. Yes, Gareth Southgate just appearing down below us in that cream short-sleeved shirt. His 100th match as the England manager. It is quite a milestone, that. Only the 3rd man to do it. If they don't do it tonight, almost certainly the end of the road, or he'll have become the first man to take a team to 3 semi-finals as the England manager. And right now, it does very much have the feel that this could go all the way. Rice picks out the pass to Kyle Walker. Mainu comes short, but there's John Stones on the halfway line again. Stones through to Foden, arms whirling, first time back, pass to Rice, now via Konsa to Trippier on the left flank. Feels like with this formation today, with Trippier pushing forward, the substitutions will be very, very important for England later in the game. Foden, and then Bellingham comes short. A great deal of discussion about how sparingly Gareth Southgate has used his substitutes. Foden, now to Stones, still in the central third. Here's Walker on the right-hand side. And then back to John Stones. Bags of possession now for England. Saka. The pace and the intensity isn't quite there at the moment. He's moving the ball quickly. Here's a man who can do that. Foden helps it onto his left to Rice. Then Rice is forced to check back. Does the full 360 degrees. Walker, Switzerland just sitting off England. Saka now on the right-hand side. 2 men with him. Saka takes on Abisha, takes him on again into the box. Puts it across. Mainu with a chance, but in comes the sliding block, which put it wide by Xhaka. It's a corner to England, and he fell rather awkwardly there, Granit Xhaka, but I think he's okay. His teammates helping him back to his feet.
Yeah, Abish is in trouble when he gets one-on-one with Saka. I mean, it wasn't really on for Saka to go on the outside. There was 2 players in that area, but such as how Switzerland been doubling up on him, I think he just thought, I'll give it a crack, and he knocks it round. He manages to get his body in, roll round the outside of him, and he actually gets the wrong side. It's half a foul from Abish, and he doesn't give a penalty away, but for me he really does lean on Saka there, who's trying to get the ball back across the goal. It was a nice piece of play from him.
Big breath from Foden. Then in comes the corner, too close to the goalkeeper. A left-footed in-swinger from Phil Foden. Comfortable catch from that man in luminous green, Sommer, who shrugs off various members, and now it's being brought forward up the right-hand side by Ndoye. Ball into the penalty area. Konza does well, and then he's shoved over actually by Vargas, and it's a free kick. And England survive that counter-attack by the Swiss.
Brilliant from Konza. Reads it, gets in position, gets his body across, ushers the ball out of play. It was a really quick counter. Ndoye and Vargas really looking to use their pace.
And that is it. That's the half-time whistle. Just looking down there, Gareth Southgate and the ever suave Murat Yakin, who's got his glasses on at the moment. Even they look suave. Disappears down next to Gareth Southgate, and the players head off the field. So half-time, no attempts on target. Much more promising by England. Certainly plenty to discuss in terms of the way that they've played it with the system, etc. But I might just start to draw up that penalty grid now.
Come on.
England 0, Switzerland 0. I am a man of my word. So we're ready for the start of the second half. England 0, Switzerland 0. England with Pickford in goal. For the most part, Walker, Stones and Konza as three central defenders, with Trippier pushing forward on the left, Saka on the right, Rice and Mainu in the middle, Foden, Bellingham and Kane. Referee Orsato blows his whistle, and the Swiss, in this strange-ish red and maroon combination, get us underway. England white shirts, blue shorts and white socks. The Swiss also, as they start at the match, so Sommer in goal, Cher, Akanji and Rodriguez there, three central defenders, and Ndoye and Ebisha, the wing backs, Freuler and Xhaka in the middle, then Rida, Vargas and Mbolo. So first minute of the second half, what are you looking for now, Matt Upson?
More of the same, more pressure. Can they turn it into better opportunities? I think that's the big question. But certainly being as difficult as what they have been to play against in the first half is going to be key, just to not allow the Swiss to have any rhythm at all.
Yeah, from an ideal point of view, Gareth Southgate clearly will have wanted a goal or two from the way that they played in the first half, but they haven't come. They've found it quite difficult to prize the openings, but overall the level of play has been much more positive. Here's Foden inside his own half, pulling the pass right across the pitch to Konza. Then here's Bellingham. Bellingham just moves smoothly past Ndoye, and Bellingham still going, opening his legs, playing it across, but just intercepted. Kane was in the path of that, but Akanji got his heels to it. Rice now. Rice. Bellingham's free on the left-hand side. Curls it in, right-footed to the back post. Ebisha got his head to it. Hasn't cleared the penalty area. And then it's given away. Saka in the box. Saka with a shot that closed down at source, and the ball bounces away towards the halfway line where England take up possession again.
Well, Ebisha does really well at the back post for Switzerland. The left wing back got himself in. He won the header to begin with to stop Saka, and then got a really good block, and there was a poor clearance from Vargas.
England now putting pressure on Switzerland. They're not moving the ball quickly here. It's being played quite sedately, but Switzerland are penned back in there in the opening couple of minutes of the second half. Saka uses Mainu. England now attacking towards those noisy England fans that you can hear. Foden, Saka, little ball to Kane on the edge of the box, but Akanji went in close on him, put in the challenge, and the ball ran through for Switzerland to clear. But this is a good start as well to the second half from Gareth Southgate's side. Trippier plays the ball down the left for Rice to move onto it, and then in comes the challenge. Trippier tries to get there, but it's actually taken away by Ndoye and played forward and away to Mbolo, and Mbolo has shown too much of that to Kyle Walker, who's just able to run away with the ball.
I think that's what we've done well in this game. At the moment the Swiss have got the ball back. We really do kind of swarm it, apply pressure to the first touch, or not allow them to get hold of the ball, win it back, and then we're playing again. And at the moment, since the start of the second half, we're really dominant.
Foden tries to turn on the edge of the box but runs into Rodriguez, and now the Swiss do come forward looking on the counter-attack, but inside Walker gets to that ball first, and then Bukayo Saka is pulled up as fouled, and the referee pulls it up for a free kick that Saka will take short. In actual fact, talking about England changes, I think it's Murat Yakin who might be the more likely to make changes before Gareth Southgate, the way that the match has gone.
You're not a fan of the old red and maroon, John, are you?
I'm not actually.
No, you've bought it a couple of times.
Yeah, it's I find it a little bit garish. red and maroon should never be seen, as I think they say. Walker, ball out towards the left-hand side, headed infield by Trippier, but it comes out to Sommer, who's able to scamper forward and gather it up. I'm not sure that the dashing Murat Yakin would be entirely approving of it either.
Is that a Murray rule, or is that just, in general?
I think in general, in life, as Vargas is fouled and it's a free kick to Switzerland 10 yards inside their own half. It's actually stayed down, Vargas. Referee Osato just wanders across. It's Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
Just caught him on the toe end or the ankle bone.
Catches his ankle in mid-air though, so he wasn't planted on the ground, so it wasn't much force going through it, but he must have clipped, like you say, maybe the ankle bone or something, and he's still laying down on the floor as we speak. In fact, I think he just catches his toe, and as he swings through Vargas to hit the ball, it just opens his knee out a little bit. It just pulls it out. It's pretty unfortunate, actually, the way that just happened, and that won't be good news for the Swiss if he's got a bit of a knock, because he's a key player for them.
Well, he's not received treatment. The Swiss medical people have waited on the side of the pitch, but he's carrying on. He's flexing his knee. Switzerland never got past the quarter-finals at a European Championship or a World Cup, and England, as we well know, runners-up in the last Euros, but have not won anything since you know when. Akanji to Xhaka. Xhaka on his left foot. Harry Kane just comes across and then stretches a foot in, but Akanji plays it to the left-hand side. Here is Avisha. Avisha now making ground down the left flank as the Swiss attack towards the end, where all of their supporters are curled around the bottom tier and the top tier as well. There must be 7,000 of them as well, I would say. That's the official figure for England, but it seems and feels like many more inside this stadium of almost 50,000 here in Dusseldorf, close to the banks of the Rhine. Xhaka playing the ball forward now through towards the edge of the box. Embolo into the penalty area. Embolo trying to turn and shoots, but weakly at Jordan Pickford, who's able just to stun it with his gloves. And actually the ball's going to be put out of play because Konsa came across with Embolo, and I think he's turned awkwardly.
Yeah, Embolo's such a physical handful. Really does try and use his body here. It's nice play. Eventually they get a couple of passes off into space, and Konsa's tracking his run diagonally all the way across the 18-yard box, and Embolo just bounces him with his body to try and shrug him and roll him at the same time inside onto his right foot. And I think the follow-through of a swipe of the ball, he just makes contact with his right foot on the ball, Embolo, and the follow-through goes all the way into Konsa's knee and really does just scrape across the front of his knee. Hopefully it's just a kick more than a twist, which will be a lot more damaging.
He didn't need treatment, so he's back up. England 0, Switzerland 0. 5 Live, BBC Sounds. If you're on the move, listen to 5 Live and Sports Extra. That's where Wimbledon is right now. Full time in Pretoria. It's finished South Africa 27, Ireland 20, and the British Grand Prix is on 5 Live tomorrow as the Wimbledon coverage continues. The Euros daily as well, the football daily at the Euros. I hope you've enjoyed that during the tournament. All the reaction to whatever unfolds over the course of the next hour or so will be on there in the morning and every morning. There's England now with Mainoo. It's very, very congested. Uses Saka. Saka wriggles away, pulls the ball back, but straight at Xhaka. And actually there's an offside flag there up against England and a free kick. Matt Upson.
Yeah, so far they've defended those situations well, the Swiss. Anything that Saka gets on the right-hand side, if he gets behind, they've got players that drop, whether it's a midfield player or a centre-back, right into that area where they just read where the cutback's going. They can't get any joy, England, in a white shirt arriving on that when Saka gets in good positions. At the moment, the Swiss are dealing with it well.
Matt Upson played for England at the World Cup. Izzy Christiansen, England midfielder, down behind the goal. Theo Walcott, who's been on BBC One at half-time, will be back with us in a moment or two. As the match is on BBC One, you can actually choose to continue to listen to the 5 Live commentary with the pictures. You'll find that on the iPlayer, the red button, BBC Sport website and app. As Konsa is challenged and goes down, and that's given us a free kick to England just in front of where Gareth Southgate is standing.
Well, that's another thing that a back three allows you to do. Konsa, who's sticking to Embolo like glue at the moment, is able to go all the way into the other half of the pitch with him. You've got your other two centre-backs which will narrow in and fill your hole. and you can just go all the way and get as tight as you want, and he's doing that with Embolo when he's dropping deep.
As England take the free kick back into their own half, still sun shining on this great grey rectangle here in between the River Rhine and the busy airport, Dusseldorf Airport. Very close to where we are. We can see the planes occasionally as Walker passes the ball straight into Vargas. Seems okay, bounces to Saka though, but Saka loses it and it's just knocked out of play by Rodriguez for a throw into England on the halfway line. And the throw-in is taken to Foden, who couldn't pull it down, so the Swiss have got it in front of their own penalty area. Cher, he hits a long pass. Vargas caught that on his knee and it almost bounced for him. Freuler joins in. Walker went with Vargas, now Ebischer. Here's Granit Xhaka, but Foden's excellent. Foden comes back in and whips the ball off the toe of the Swiss captain.
Well, Vargas, I thought, was going to get the wrong side of Walker there. If the ball had just been a little bit more in front of him, I think his first touch would have got behind Kyle Walker. Luckily, it kind of checked back and he wasn't able to get in behind.
Throw in after Menu tried a whip pass down the right hand side. That was just intercepted by Ebischer. Went out for a throw. You can also listen as well to our live commentaries on most smart speakers. Just ask BBC Sounds to play Radio 5 Live. Throw in that Walker takes infield. Rice has got to get to this, but the referee helps England out by saying he hasn't taken it in the right place, or was something else happening. I think maybe he was talking to Granit Xhaka.
Maybe so he wasn't ready for the restart, possibly. I couldn't see too much wrong with that.
Rice was struggling there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
For a moment or two. So it is an England throw. England throw over there on the far side, in the shadows of the stand. But Walker is still ready to take this, and the Swiss are saying, "Come on, are you going to take it?" Takes it to Kane. Kanji is so tight with the England captain there, and then it's fouled by him. Just a little tug. Free kick, well defended though by Akanji, who then pitched the ball straight into the referee. It's a free kick. And the referee turns to Akanji and says, "How was I supposed to get out of the way of that?"
So what am I supposed to do about that? You blasted the ball at me.
That was a great Italian gesture, wasn't it? Mamma mia. Oh.
Spending too much time in an Italian restaurant.
Are we? You think so? Here's the ball up towards Embolo, then back to Xhaka. Rodriguez joins in on this on the left hand side. England have got to defend here, and it comes from Rodriguez. Embolo couldn't get a clean header on that. Konsa did well, just got himself in the way of Embolo, and in the end it was straight at pitch.
Well done, Ezra Konsa. He's defended crosses well so far in this game. He's got his body in the right place. It's not an easy one. You can easily go too far past the ball as a centre back there. He's had to really stand his ground, because Embolo's a big lad, really big frame on him, strong upper body, and he stood his ground well, Konsa.
England with possession on the right hand side. England trying to follow up last Euros achievement of going all the way to the final at Wembley. Last time they reached the semi-final in the European Championship on foreign turf was back in 1968. England win a free kick. Rice then infield towards Phil Foden. That was Alf Ramsey's England back then in 1968 as the world champions. Here's Bellingham now to the right hand side to Saka. Saka running at Ebischer, but not at pace. Back to Bellingham again. Bellingham now all the way across to Declan Rice, who had to be quick there and just take it away from Fabian Rieder, and then John Stones is able to receive the ball, give it to Foden, deep lying position. Foden with a pass. Trippier heads it across the box, but Kane wasn't going to reach that. Akanji comfortably was able to head it down and away, and it's out of play for a throw into England.
I like the idea from Trippier though. It comes across on the head and he thinks, I'll just punch it back across, as almost like as a headed cross into Harry Kane. It was a difficult one to get it right, but nice idea from Trippier.
There's still an element of frustration though here, because England are playing better, but still not really creating much.
No, not creating at all at the moment, it has to be said. I mean, the possession's better, the press is better. We look more of a team, John, and it looks more joined up, doesn't it, in terms of how we're playing, but we're not creating too many chances.
Walker now to the right hand side. Bukayo Saka. Saka back to Kyle Walker. England are getting men into the penalty area, but there are so many red and maroon shirts in there. Saka clips it in. Now that's easily headed away by Xhaka on the edge of the box. Here's Embolo, who loses out, but the ball runs to Akanji, and Akanji whips it forward, and Ndoi's on the chase here. Konsa's got to get there for England, and Ndoi does get there first, plays it past him into the penalty area, then back from Reader to Ndoi. England quickly have to get back into position here. Ndoi, this is what the Swiss do so well. Reader then on the turn plays it into right, and the ball runs away off the shins of the Arsenal man, and out for a first corner of the match to Switzerland.
A great spot from Akanji to set them away. Really good ball over the top in the space. He knows Ndoi's got serious pace, and he gets to the ball, but I have to say Konsa does well. Doesn't panic, just gets back in, makes life difficult, holds up the play, and then England recovered from there. But a real snippet, as you've said, John, of how good this Swiss team are on the counter-attack.
Yeah, corner to be taken from the right. The Swiss fans raise themselves, a huge banner at the front of their section reading Fan Kurva Schweiz, and they're on their feet, they're waving their red and white flags. They're waiting for Ruben Vargas to take this corner. The referee, the whole group of players together at the far post. The referee's just doled out one or two instructions. So Vargas to take this, right-footed outswinger. In fact, he does actually take it short to Reader, and then Reader back to Rodriguez. What have the Swiss got here? Rodriguez, his ball into the penalty area. Aerially comes off the head of the stretching Saka. It's another corner to the Swiss. England on top in the opening stages of the second half, but now Switzerland have relieved that pressure and are testing England. Second consecutive corner. This one is actually being left to Fabien Reader, the number 26, the man who plays in France for Rennes. Reader will whip this in, you would think. Here it goes to the near post, and it's a stretch and away and out of play for a throw-in by Bellingham. Full stretch, left-footed clearance. Switzerland take the throw, back to the captain, Granit Xhaka, who just volleys it back to the halfway line. Foden chasing and chasing. Rodriguez, who actually has to pass it back to goalkeeper Sommer.
It's not been a game of top quality set plays so far, has it? Neither team really looking or even feeling like they're going to threaten on a corner or a wide free kick. It just doesn't look like they've got the delivery or the players in the box to go and head the ball.
Reader does well, and then it's taken on down the right hand side by Vargas, who's got some space, plays it across, but Walker was able to nip in ahead of Embolo. It's headed back by Freuler to the edge of the box. Menu with a header, and then it bounces down for Saka to clear up towards Bellingham, who was leaned into, I thought, by Freuler. No free kick. In on the challenge, Trippier. Switzerland just playing around England here. Freuler again. Freuler away from Kane. This is more promising suddenly from the Swiss. They look sharp. In comes the cross. It's deflected to the edge of the box. Well, Foden's got to be careful there. He was in on a 50-50 with Cher and just got to it first.
Yeah, good passage of play from Switzerland. They've been on the back foot since the start of this second half, but they're just getting into it. They're using the right-hand side a lot with Vargas out here, wanting him to cross the ball or try and get at Trippier or Konsa.
Switzerland are going to make a couple of changes. Murat Yakin, who's slipped on a cashmere pullover, is just shaking hands with them. Switzerland with Freuler. Freuler out to the right to Vargas. Vargas running at Trippier. England are being tested here. The Swiss noise levels are increasing inside the stadium here in Dusseldorf. Now on the right with Ndoi, but then just flicks it back towards Cher, and then Cher to Granit Xhaka. Once again, the Newcastle man, the central defender. Great moments for Newcastle with Trippier in the Champions League this season. And now Ndoi on the edge of the box. He's on his left foot, then does play it square though. Rodriguez is there. Rodriguez, experienced, 120th cap for him to the left-hand side. Meno is able to leap in, win the ball. Harry Kane now, and then he's fouled. Kane, Abisha with a challenge on the England captain. Free kick to Gareth Southgate's side, 10 yards inside their own half.
They very nearly got the shot off on goal they wanted to there. Switzerland just didn't quite pan out for them. Couldn't get enough space just to get a clean hit on goal. I think it was Reader looking to use his left foot to wind it up, and England just having to hold that 18-yard box line, and the midfield players get out, put enough pressure to stop any efforts on goal, and they've got a nice free kick just to slow the game down a little bit while the Swiss make some substitutions.
Theo Walcott's back up with us. What are your thoughts, Theo, right now?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I'm still breathing, actually trying to get up here because
there's a few steps, isn't there?
There's quite a few. To be honest, there seems to be a pattern. I'm making my way back up here, but it seems the England team have started to get a bit more fatigued, a little bit more. The pressure doesn't seem to be there as much at this moment in time. But look, there's still not very clear and obvious sort of chances. But England need to start getting hold of the ball again, start getting Phil Foden and Jude Bellingham into the game. Look, it's one of those situations that always happens in tournament football. At some stage, you're going to be put under pressure, and right now, Switzerland are putting England under pressure, and they're going to have to get out the other side right now.
5 Live, BBC Sounds, live from Dusseldorf, Wimbledon on Sports Extra. England 0, Switzerland 0. And Matt, Ruben Vargas has had to come off. He's been substituted, and Fabian Rieder as well, with Vidma and Zuba coming on. So maybe that was the result of that little problem that he had.
I think you're right. I think that is the problem, and it's a shame because he just tweaked his knee.
So England now come forward after Switzerland make the 2 changes. Trippier, Foden on the left-hand side. Foden's left-footed cross. Konsa trying to get there, but it bounces away from Bellingham. I beg your pardon. Bellingham stretching for it, and as he did so, it came off the defender, and that is an England corner. And Bellingham now trying to whip up the England fans behind the goal.
The referee disagrees, I think.
I think maybe the assistant has overruled that.
Yeah.
And it's a goal kick.
Yeah. Well, there was a big reaction from Zuba, as if to say it's not a corner, it's certainly a goal kick. He made a big reaction to the referee, and whether or not he saw something different, the referee, he clearly has, and just given a goal kick instead.
Straight swaps as well, with Zuba coming into the Vargas position, number 14, and Vidma has come on the right. As I say, Vidma, who was suspended for the win against Italy in the round of 16. Let's go down pitch side again behind Jan Sommer's goal to Izzy Christiansen.
Yeah, I had a fantastic view of that cross from Foden on that left-hand side. He's so intelligent, isn't he, Phil Foden? The dink ball to the back post, and Jude Bellingham was very, very close to getting on the end of that late third-man run that we saw in the first game, and he arrived in the box. But England are turning the screw. You got to think they've got to score while they're on top.
Yeah, and with that change, here's Granit Xhaka, 0-0. Xhaka playing it square. Rodriguez allows it to run across his body onto his left foot. Rodriguez's cross is headed away, a cross goal by Konsa. He hasn't cleared it yet, headed further away by Stones. Then the volley on the edge of the penalty area is snatched at really by Ebischer, who puts his hands on his head. It really whizzed away high and wide by 5 or 6 yards.
So it's a good left-footed cross from Rodriguez, though. Left side centre-back puts it in a dangerous area. Embolo's not attacking the ball. Konsa heads it up in the air, and then England have to get bodies out to put pressure on the volley from Ebischer on the edge of the box, which did go harmlessly wide, but the Swiss certainly really trying to press in as well. Both teams are pretty much equal at the moment, John. It's really kind of a level playing field, isn't it? Could go either way, this.
Yeah, really is tight. 0-0, and England in possession with Konsa. Slipped from Stones. Embolo was there with him, and Pickford now does clear long and left-footed. This is a right wrestling match between Kane and Akanji. Oh, it's a yellow card for Kane. Harry Kane is booked. He's not one of those players who is on a yellow card, but the England captain, that's a series of wrestling matches that the two of them have had, and Akanji went down holding his face, Matt.
Yeah, I've just seen the replays. It doesn't look a yellow card to me. I think Harry Kane puts his arm up to kind of put his whole arm around him, and does his elbow slightly catch the side of Akanji's face. Yes, but he's not, you know those ones, John, where a centre forward has a look and then punches an elbow back to catch someone. It's nothing like that. He just gently catches him. He's trying to manoeuvre himself out.
And that's coming from a centre half.
I thought it was a little bit harsh. I thought it was a little bit harsh.
Yeah, I would say it's a bit harsh, to be honest. It's one of those I feel like the referee probably needs to make a booking at some point. It was an easy decision for him, but yeah, I feel like it wasn't a yellow card. It's one of those. I don't think the forward gets that as a foul.
No, like I say, both players are wrestling, aren't they? And he's just trying to manoeuvre himself out of that situation.
Yellow cards are wiped after the quarterfinals, in case you weren't aware of that. We'll have commentary coming up on the other semi-final in this half, the other quarterfinal in this half of the draw. Netherlands-Turkey. Ian Dennis and Chris Sutton are in position in Berlin at 0-0, and here is Zuba chasing onto the ball down the left-hand side into the England box. He's done well. He's given it back to Ndoye, who's changed position now. Ndoye onto his right foot. It could open up. Ndoye still going. Kane puts in the challenge inside the area, and then Kane is still in possession. Then he's challenged by Freuler, and then he clears it away up towards Foden. Well, they needed him there. I really thought it was going to open up for the opportunity to shoot for Ndoye.
Well, England needed Declan Rice. That is a fantastic piece of defending from Declan Rice. I mean, to move his feet as quickly as what he did, and Ndoye is super sharp. He just wanted to get half a yard in the pitch to unleash his right foot. It was a great angle to be shooting from, and Declan Rice matched him all the way. Just didn't give him half an inch to get a shot off. Brilliant play from him.
This is better from Switzerland again, 0-0. And Switzerland are really asking some questions of England. It's still very, very little in terms of clear opportunities. Shot from Embolo, shot over from Abisha. Nothing more in the second half from England.
You know that graph you drew up at half-time?
Yeah.
I think that's a wise move, John.
Might be coming into play.
Could well be.
Yeah, that's the benefit of experience.
I mean, does substitutions change that though, John, for you? Are you looking at it right now and thinking you're going to have to maybe make a decision because Switzerland are on top, and as well at times when you make a substitution it can just sort of disjoint the Switzerland sort of structure.
Yep, you'd think it would be coming. We're on to the last quarter of the match now, and Gareth Southgate yet to make a change. And now the ball on the left-hand side with Ndoye, who goes between Saka and Walker, goes down, doesn't win the free kick, ball's out of play for a throw into England. That's all it is. And referee says to Ndoye, just get on with it. This is 5 Live from the Euros. 0-0 in the quarter-final. England-Switzerland. Here's Bellingham for England, the hero in Gelsenkirchen against the Slovakians. Trippier on the left-hand side. Trippier then back towards the halfway line. Kieran Trippier did take a knock in that match. You'd think if there is to be a change, then that would be one potential area. Rice, square to Stones. Stones now points forward to Kobbie Mainoo, and then Stones takes it on himself. Mainoo might be able to do the same. In fact, no, passes Foden to the left to Foden. Foden crosses, but that takes a deflection, bounces into the penalty area. Abisha hooks it away. Then Bukayo Saka with Zuba, and then Saka, his ball in is right onto the chest of the former Arsenal man, Xhaka, who takes it down, and here is Zuba with the flowing black hair. Embolo then runs the ball, but it bounced out of play. It had. It's a throw in to England halfway inside their own half. No immediate signs of movement down on the side of the pitch for England.
No, I mean, I think Gareth Southgate in this tournament he's only made 2 substitutions before 66 minutes, and that is by far the least amount that any other team has made in the tournament, and we're now on 71, 72.
Correct.
So you feel an injection of energy, and as we said, pace may well be a good thing.
Walker might be a long way to go yet in this match. Walker then to Foden. Foden tries to pick out the pass to Trippier, stretching header away by Vidma, but Trippier is able to get round him and make sure that the ball goes out for an England throw. So we are into the last 20 minutes now. England, who were taken to extra time last Sunday, but have had so much recovery time. The winners of this will play either Netherlands or Turkey in Dortmund on Wednesday. Trippier down the line for Bellingham. Bellingham cuts it back. He's up against Xhaka. Granit Xhaka goes one way. Bellingham dummies to cross. Xhaka sticks out a leg. Oh, Bellingham sticks up a foot, and Xhaka did lean down into that. Yeah. And referee Osato says just goal kick with Bellingham on a yellow card.
Yeah, which is exactly why the referee hasn't got a yellow card out, because he realised that Xhaka did stoop low to head the ball, and Bellingham had no clues there. He doesn't actually catch him in the face with his boot. It's more... Actually, I don't even think he does catch him in the face with the boot at all. And however, Granit Xhaka does make a lot of that.
I think some referees would have jumped in there.
They would.
I mean, look, Granit Xhaka's using all of his experience. He understands now, right now, England are starting to get back on top of the game. He just wants to slow it down. I mean, he was isolated on his own there with Jude Bellingham, and he just calmly just sort of ushered them towards the centre, sort of the corner flag. But yeah, he managed to win the foul for his team to start the process again.
5 Live, BBC Sounds, England 0, Switzerland 0. This match is on BBC One if you're on the way home after a summer Saturday out. And on BBC Sounds you can rewind, pause the commentary and go back and listen again if you go to the stations and schedules box. Go back and listen to the drama of the Slovakia match. I think it took me 2 days to recover from that. Never mind England.
It's bonkers, wasn't it?
Yeah. Switzerland on the left-hand side with Abisha. Granit Xhaka's available. He's always available, the Bayer Leverkusen man. Then Freuler back to Xhaka. England have had to drop back again. Abisha. They're on the walk forward here, Switzerland. Quite ponderous. Akanji, seen him hit one from distance before. Instead he goes out to the right hand side where it's slipped forward into the penalty area. Ndoye's ball across is turned in! 1-0 Switzerland. The ball across came off Declan Rice, and that meant that it was perfect for Embolo to slide in from close range. England are behind here in the quarter-final, and we've got just 15 minutes to play. England 0, Switzerland 1.
Well, you just had the feeling that there was going to be either a mistake or a ricochet or a piece of luck. The way this game has gone, it's just been deadlocked with two teams, same formation, similar system, having a go at each other. And this is that moment. It's a cross into the box. It's a really nice slip pass. The ball comes in, but it goes through the legs of Konsa, I think, and then another touch off of John Stones just takes the pace off the ball. And for once, Embolo is in a position where he gets the wrong side of Kyle Walker, and he just has a simple touch of the ball into the back post. It's 3 yards out that he taps the ball in from, but the ricochet from Stones just takes the pace off it and diverts the ball bang into the right place for him to touch it home.
And Ndoye's been asking that all game as well. He's been putting the ball into a space to ask his forward to attack it. And like you say there, Embolo's on the right side the wrong side of Kyle Walker. And, you know, using his sort of physical presence, you can't get around him. And it was been coming. It really has been.
1-0 Switzerland lead, and time very much running out for England, who are going to make changes. Eberici Eze, Cole Palmer and also Luke Shaw are preparing to come onto the field. So England now with Bellingham to Trippier on the left hand side. They've struggled to create chances. Well, look what they've played. Here is Bellingham. England are looking to him. Ball into the box. That's a diving header across the penalty area and away by Rodriguez. England have really got to go for it now. Rice back towards Trippier. Trippier plays it across. Gareth Southgate, the question will be whether he left those changes too late. Of course it will be. Here's Stones on the right hand side. Out towards Saka. Saka through into the box, a flick by Mainoo, but that will just bounce through to Jan Sommer in the Swiss goal, and we'll go down pitch side to Izzy Christiansen.
Yeah, I've just had a shower of beer because the England fans behind me, my notepad is now smudged. My notes from the second half are smudged. England fans understandably incredibly frustrated. I turned around and I saw a lot of pointing hands, a lot of flailing arms, and let's see what England are made of now.
Yeah, can they do it again? Are they going to be able to come from behind and turn it around in the way that they did against Slovakia? It's asking a lot, Matt, in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's a huge amount, and the fresh legs and energy on the pitch. I mean, we've seen how substitutions in this tournament have actually really positively impacted the England team, and hopefully these three, as it looks now, are going to have that exact impact, hopefully.
So Palmer, Shaw and Eza are coming on for Mainoo. Trippier, and also the third one is Jude Bellingham. There we are.
That's an interesting one. He's looking over.
He is looking over, or is it? No, hang on a minute. It's not Bellingham. They put the number 10 up. It's Ezri Konsa who's coming off, not Jude Bellingham.
Okay, so
Bellingham
Shaw
says to the referee, "What are they doing on the side of the pitch, putting the wrong number up?"
I was going to say that would have been a strange move given they on the last game.
Did they see me score last week?
Yeah. Have they seen that clip?
Oh, goodness me.
Crikey. So Shaw has gone in that left back position. You've got Eze now in kind of the left wing back position. So Shaw left side of the back three, Eze on the left, Saka still across on the right, and Cole Palmer just in front in that midfield area. So let's see if that shakes it up a little bit and England can create some more, because that has been the one part of the game that has hugely been lacking.
Here come England now after the triple change, but just over 10 minutes to play. Bellingham across to Saka. There's the overlap there from Walker. Walker into the box, but it's played out by Abisha. And now really England have no option here but to absolutely take that handbrake off. Throw in 10 yards back from the corner flag. Saka will bounce this for Walker to take it. I think they've already scored from one long throw from that far side, but in fact it's taken short back towards John Stones. Here is Luke Shaw. He's playing now, Luke Shaw, here for the first time at the tournament and for the first time in a competitive scenario since the middle of February. Might be right at the tail end of the tournament for England, who are going out. Here's Palmer, unless they can come from behind again. Palmer, back to Bellingham. Bellingham, then square towards Rice. Rice looks for, there's Palmer and Foden near the edge of the penalty area. Here's Eze. Is he going to be able to have a run at the Swiss defence? Bellingham now. Bellingham, having come up with that goal in the 5th minute of added time against Slovakia. Bellingham to the right to Rice. Saka cutting in field. Low shot from Saka. Oh! It's in! What a goal! From a crowd of players, Bukayo Saka makes it 1-1. Brilliant from the Arsenal man. England 1-0 down, have held it level. What a relief for all of these England supporters in the stands. And Bukayo Saka gets his first goal of the tournament.
When he has that touch inside, I'm looking at it thinking there's a bit of space there. They've not got tight enough to him. I think it's Zuba that comes on, he just drifts too far, and if you allow Bukayo Saka that kind of time and space and he sees that far post with his eyes, I mean it is inch perfect, this effort, left foot whipped, it goes, bounces a couple of times and it ricochets off the inside of that far post and into the back of the net. Brilliant goal from him.
Down pitch side, Izzy, you must have been right behind the line of the shot.
As soon as it left his foot, John, I knew. The way it curled into the corner around, I don't know who the defender was, but what a finish from Bukayo Saka. And the contrast in emotions from the England fans between the Switzerland goal and that goal, of course, they've gone absolutely mental. There's more showers coming down of beer, cups being thrown, but my word, what a finish from Bukayo Saka.
It's 1-1, England 1, Switzerland 1. Switzerland coming forward, but England win it back. Now suddenly the tempo of the game has completely changed. Kane goes for a high crossfield pass towards the man who's just got on the score sheet. Bukayo Saka back towards Rice. Switzerland were ahead for 5 minutes in the match before that excellent low shot that flew in off the foot of the post. Here's Cole Palmer. The noise coming out of the England fans now. Palmer for Shaw down the left. Shaw with a cross to the near post, which is headed away by Cher, and then in on the challenge goes Eze to put it out of play for a throw into Switzerland. I mean, I don't know what you think, Matt, but surely the thing for England here is to carry on with the momentum, use the crowd.
Well, that's the thing. You get the goal and you don't now want to drop off. You've got to be picturing, because, I mean, don't you sense a change of gear when we're behind? It shouldn't be in that way. It should be able to still have that purpose, whether we're drawing, winning, losing, but we go behind like that and all of a sudden there's a shift of gear, a body language change. you can see it in the players.
It's really frustrating to see it because we've got it in us, and it's just like you say, he's doing it from the starting block. I mean, I've just got off the seat, by the way, because I pretty much fell. Still quite excited to see that goal, but yeah, he's on the ball again right now.
Bukayo Saka again on the right hand side, the Arsenal top scorer, comes in field again, and then this time plays it in, little glance, Kane shot on the turn, that's blocked by a defender. Xhaka very coolly turns it, plays it away to Embolo, the Swiss scorer, who's put under pressure by Stones, a little foul, and a free kick to Switzerland. And Xhaka wants to take this quickly, which he does through the middle, and Luke Shaw is able to come across and get his head to it. And now England played out towards the left hand side, but Eza won't reach that, and it's out of play next to Gareth Southgate, who again, it looked as though perhaps that was it for England. Gareth Southgate at the tournament, but they responded quickly this time.
Yeah, how cool was Granit Xhaka in possession a moment ago. He really is calm and collected, and I just think that, you know, keeping Saka on that right hand side has been a really good decision from Gareth Southgate. It's been easy to
could have taken him off.
It could have taken him off, and he could also have put him onto the left to start with, because he gives that balance of a left footer in that wing back position, which you think would make more sense. But he's been a constant threat, and then rewarded with that goal coming inside the pitch on his left foot, and he's been a real danger man.
Yeah, how many times we've seen him do that for Arsenal, and indeed for England. For Bukayo Saka, that's his 12th goal for England. And incidentally, not wishing to tempt fate, in the previous 8 matches in which he scored for England, England have always won. The shot timed at 116.2 kilometres per hour. Here is Zuba for Switzerland. We've now got 5 minutes to play. 1-1. Rodriguez with the cross. Embolo's trying to get there. That's headed away. Headed away well by Luke Shaw, and he's headed it out to Cole Palmer, and the Chelsea man brings it forward now. He's being pulled back there by Vidman, and then eventually the whistle comes, and it's a yellow card for Vidman. England have already taken the free kick, but referee Orsato says, no, come on, you've got to take it back. I was in the process of booking Vidman.
He made the decision to book him, which I think was the right one. It was quite a cynical foul. It was subtle, the foul he made on Palmer, but he just grabs hold of his arm and his wrist almost, and drags him backwards and stops him making progress. It was a good spot from the referee.
1-1. 5 Live BBC Sounds with extra time now beckoning. Netherlands Turkey from 8 o'clock BST. Wimbledon's on Sports Extra for now. Here's Bellingham. Luke Shaw into the action for the first time for months. Palmer wants it, Shaw gives it to Palmer, and then Shaw back to John Stones. Kyle Walker receives the ball quite centrally, Walker, and just taps it back to Declan Rice. Now John Stones again in the centre circle. This is gripping stuff here at the Euros in the quarter-final. The final minutes of normal time. Declan Rice. Phil Foden's pass to Palmer. The Swiss retreat again. Deep lying positions. Luke Shaw allows the ball to run and then just taps it down the line. Foden tries to get it back to Luke Shaw. Shaw, the man who scored the England goal in the final at the previous Euros, remember. Rice, Eza's been leaned into by Akanji. He's drawn Akanji out of the penalty area. Foden gives it back to Eza, and now Declan Rice. Declan Rice picks out the ball to the far side to Bukayo Saka. He's got Abisha to run at if he wants to. No, in fact he gives it back to the edge of the box to Bellingham. Beautiful change of feet, but couldn't get the shot in. Then it's worked forward to Bellingham again inside the penalty area. He's got Saka. Saka's cross deflected over everyone inside the penalty area and out of play for a throw-in down to our left.
I'll say Declan Rice's tackling in this second half in particular has been absolutely spot on. He's gone to ground a few times, but he's got this desire and hunger to win the ball. He's timing it well, and those little turnovers in that area, feeding the attacking players once again when you turn it over, are so key to creating little opportunities, and Bellingham very nearly chopping his way through that Swiss defence.
We've got 3 minutes plus added time to go. Then it would be extra time for a place in the semi-finals, a place in the last 4. Switzerland took the lead through Embolo in the 75th minute, but England equalising through that fiercely hit shot from Bukayo Saka from 23.6 metres distance.
some power, didn't it? You already mentioned it was flying off that post into the back of the net. It went quickly. He's got a powerful left foot, and it was just tailor-made for him. The moment the recovering Swiss defender overcooked it a little bit, it went a little bit too far wide, that gap opened, and he doesn't need asking twice.
No, there he is. Once again, Bukayo Saka. Walker, Foden makes himself available. Foden swings the pass towards the left-hand side. Eza gets it down against Vidma. Shaw on the overlap. It opens up for Eza, who drags his shot wide. It really did open up for him. But I think it was the old fruit machine eyes there, wasn't it? And he dragged it well wide of the near post.
Exactly that.
Opportunity not.
They just opened, didn't they? And he snatched it. I mean, it was a big channel open to hit the ball. He really does drag that with his right foot well wide of the near post. He's definitely got the quality to make the keeper work from there, and should have done.
Yeah, excellent work from Shaw as well. And now there's Cher. Cher has pulled back Palmer, and he's on a yellow card, Cher, and he actually miscontrolled it, pulled back Palmer, and I have a feeling that would have been a yellow card had he not been on one already.
Yeah, it's more that he just kicked through the back of him, didn't he, and knocked Palmer's feet from underneath, and perhaps it wasn't quite enough for an offence for a second yellow, but it certainly gives England a wide free kick on the left, with Foden just setting the ball up. It's in a good position. We haven't looked particularly threatening from these situations, but maybe Foden can find a delivery worthy of somebody getting the head on the end of it.
So here we are inside this stadium with a brilliant atmosphere in Dusseldorf, watching Foden down below us. Left-footed free kick into the back post. Jan Sommer comes, gets a punch on it out towards Saka. England putting pressure on here. Palmer's ball in, that's headed away by Akanji. England players were going down in the box. England have committed men forward, and they could be off on the counter-attack. Switzerland and Doy on the left-hand side. He's got Embolo in the middle. Zuber as well, still Ndoye. Saka gets back, Ndoye goes for goal and gets right underneath that and skies it right across the penalty area, and it lands at the point where the Swiss supporters make the neutrals.
It's a bit like a golf swing again, isn't it?
It was a little bit one of them, more in time, but I thought the pass there from Zuber was so poor out to Ndoye. It just took all the pace off the pass. It was a counter. He needed to really zip it into him, and they would have been in a much better position. But it starts from Granit Xhaka again, John. The coolness this guy has got in possession, lovely little touches and awareness of passes. He's been superb in this second half.
3 minutes to go before extra time. 3 minutes of added time. Pickford takes this goal kick. Switzerland on the edge of their penalty area. Sommer on his left foot finds the pass to Ricardo Rodriguez. Now here is Granit Xhaka again with Jude Bellingham putting pressure on him. Kanji gives it back to Xhaka, so Bellingham drops back. Zuba, Freuler. Now here's Ebischer again. All out on the left-hand side. Ricardo Rodriguez is still out there. Ricardo Rodriguez, who can play in the full-back position, so it's not unfamiliar territory by any means. Then Xhaka, it's allowed to run by Freuler. Rodriguez, back to Ebischer. And now Xhaka again. Akanji is available. We're into the second minute of 3 of added time. Another goal now will probably win it. And it is hitting low into the England penalty area, but then John Stones gets his foot right behind that after Cher's ball in to drive it out of play near the halfway line.
It wasn't a bad ball in, actually.
No.
Any player he wanted to hit someone's feet there, but an England player just dropped it in front of him. It was a decent ball into the box. I mean, it's all about concentration now, John, isn't it? Knowing your position, those tiny little adjustments, changing the angle, understanding where the ball needs to go or wants to go. That is going to be key.
Tense moments here as Switzerland are in possession inside the England half. Foden goes across there. Saka is there as well with Ebischer, and then Ebischer back towards Granit Xhaka, the man who orchestrates this Swiss side. Akanji, the Manchester City man, strides forward and gives it out. There's lots of space here on the right hand side for Cher. Cher with the cross to the back post. It's missed by 2 players. Zuba then hacks at it and slices it high across the 6-yard box and behind. That was an escape for England.
Big escape. And it's Embolo in the way, really. Brilliant delivery. Super cross into the box. And I think the head of Embolo takes it off the attacking player. I can't see who it is. Oh, it's Ndoye, isn't it, coming in behind him. He just skims off Mbolo's head. He's just got to get out of the way. And Ndoye's there with a free diving header at the back post. I mean, it was too much time and space for the cross coming into the box, which really caught England out.
England 1, Switzerland 1. Extra time just a few seconds away. Pickford takes the goal kick. Kane flicks it on with his head. Bellingham is able to get his head to it, but it bounces down for Aebischer to clear. And there is the whistle from referee Orsato. He points to the halfway line, and England taken to extra time for a second consecutive match in the knockout stages here at Euro 2024. It looked as though Breel Embolo might have fired Switzerland through with that late goal in the 75th minute, but England responded well with an excellent equaliser from Bukayo Saka. And so England 1, Switzerland 1, extra time coming. Yeah, I see everyone's coming around to my way of thinking now. So off we go for extra time. Just like Gelsenkirchen on Sunday night, England, remember, scored in the first minute there. 1-1 here, came from behind in that match to find a way through. Referee Orsato just waits for the nod. It's probably unlikely that he'll be able to kick off now because the music's still playing in the stadium. Nevertheless, he blows his whistle anyway, and Switzerland get us underway for the first period of extra time here in Dusseldorf on this very pleasant July Saturday evening. You're listening to it with us on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. If you're on the move, if you're taking the dog for a walk, it is on BBC One as well. Here is Akanji in possession. Ball to the right hand side to Cher. Switzerland, neither Murat Yakin nor Gareth Southgate making any further changes at the start of extra time. Gareth Southgate's made 3 changes so far and Murat Yakin 2. Here's Granit Xhaka. As I say, there's a little bit of a concern about his fitness, but you wouldn't know it the way that he's played. Very economical. Xhaka to Rodriguez, who seems to have taken up a wider position, Rodriguez, as the match has gone on in the latter stages.
I think Shah and him both have, to be fair. I mean, a lot of the crosses coming into the box are from those 2 centre-backs on either side, and maybe Xhaka's just sitting back a little bit and Freuler to protect, and the 2 wide centre-backs have got high up the pitch and put crosses into the box.
That's Mats Upson, Izzy Christiansen down behind 1 goal, and our 1 change for this quarter-final for the England match. Joe Hart replaced by Theo Walcott. We'll hear from Theo in a moment or two, but here's Xhaka for Switzerland in the red and maroon. Aebischer gets it back from Ndoye, and then Aebischer finds the pass out to Cher, who's in the box, and then Cher mishits the attempted cross, which actually flies over the top of Pickford's crossbar.
Nice play, good one-touch passing, bit of movement, and the channel opened up to just feed the ball out to Cher. It doesn't quite go early enough.
Illustrates exactly what you said, though.
Yeah, and I think it's England very occupied with the wide players that are in that position at the moment. Zuber and Vidmer, kind of, and Ndoye on the overlap, and they're just sneaking in there a little bit unnoticed at the moment, and there's plenty of space for them to do something. I mean, Shah not with quite the quality, so that's the big trade-off. You've got to centre back in a position where you want to have a good first touch and cross the ball or pick someone out or go past someone, and he's not quite capable of doing that, but his crossing's been at a good standard.
Embolo battling with John Stones, and Stones has actually forced him to go back into the Swiss half. One thing we've not really been able to touch on because it was so harum-scarum at the end of the normal time, but Luke Shaw coming back in. So, having not played for a period of time, Matt, in your career, you had plenty of experiences of that when you had to come back.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not easy, certainly in this kind of game with what's riding on it. I mean, he's come onto the pitch and started pretty well. One really good header when he came on against Embolo, gets up well and clears it, and he's moving fine across the pitch, but it is a big ask.
Akanji finds Aebischer with a pass. Foden, though, is able to speed in and take the ball away from him. Bellingham now. England looking to the big men now, of course, the experienced players, the men who can provide that extra spark. Here's one of them, Declan Rice. Rice, who has covered an enormous amount of ground in this match. Bellingham puts his foot on the ball, receives it back from Declan Rice, then passes it to Cole Palmer. He could potentially unlock things for England. Palmer has a little scamper forward, then returns it to Jude Bellingham. And at the moment, the match is being played at walking pace. There's nothing I'm seeing at the moment to make me think that this will not result in a penalty shootout. Saka back to Walker. Now back towards the halfway line to John Stones. Declan Rice looks up as he does. Such vision that he has. Gives it to his left to the Manchester United man Luke Shaw. Shaw, who actually passes it from the halfway line all the way back to Jordan Pickford, who will pass it out carefully past them below to John Stones. And now Stones might be able to carry the ball forward in a Manchester City style. He in fact passes it to his former City teammate Palmer, and Palmer's off on a run now towards the edge of the penalty area. He's got support behind him from Luke Shaw. You'd think that the balance would look so much better with Shaw on the field now for England, the genuine left back. Palmer gets it from Bellingham. Now here's Eza on the left hand side. Eza's cross, headed away by Rodriguez, comes out to Rice, has a look at this and shoots and hits the outside of the post, with Sommer diving to his left. In fact, he's got a touch on that, Sommer.
Just came
flying
out.
save.
I think it was a save. I mean, it made a thud like it had hit the post. Perhaps it hits his hand. Yeah, just wide of the post. Good save, actually. That is dipping into that far post. It's a brilliant save from Rice.
It's an incredible save by the keeper, to be honest. And as well, we want to expect that more from Declan Rice, because there's now seems to be fatigue of playing into Switzerland, because they're starting to switch off. And when one switches off, it can go to pot, really.
The score's 1-1 in extra time in the quarter-final. Eza, out-swinging corner, headed away by Cher near the penalty spot. Carefully headed by Walker to Bukayo Saka. Saka, who under pressure from Zuba, is able to find the pass to Eza. Now Walker to Declan Rice. Declan Rice rolls it out to the left-hand side to Palmer, who's going to run at Vidmar. Cole Palmer takes on Vidmar, who goes with him to the byline, slips it between his legs, but there is cover there for Freuler, and Freuler just passes it out to the far side, where Bellingham allows it to run out of play for a throw. And Bellingham, the Real Madrid man, takes the throw to the Arsenal man Rice. Back to Bellingham again. La Liga player of the season, Champions League winner, La Liga winner, scorer of that unforgettable goal with the overhead kick on Sunday. Bellingham now to Palmer again. Here is the Premier League player of the season, Phil Foden, back towards Declan Rice, and then back into the centre circle. It's going to be a Swiss change next time the ball goes out of play, but England playing the ball again towards the left hand side to Bellingham. Palmer making himself available. Instead it comes infield towards Foden, and then back towards Rice, just puts his left foot on it, and with his right picks out the pass to the left hand side to Palmer. Palmer taking on Vidmar again, and then pokes it past him, and then Vidmar leans into Palmer, who goes down, but the referee's not interested.
I think it's a good call. I don't think there was enough there. Palmer goes down too easy. Yes, Vidmar leans and puts his arm across.
Walker's pass is a little short back to Pickford, but he's able to come and sweep it downfield, and it actually bounces over Freuler, and then Vidmar hooks it forward. Eze anticipated that. Eze to Palmer, but Palmer's infield pass has given it away. Here's Embolo back to Granit Xhaka in the centre circle. Already 7 minutes played of extra time. Rodriguez brings it forward for Switzerland. Now Abisha with Zuba on the left wing. Zuba clips it into Harry Kane, where it bounces down, and then Saka's given it away to Rodriguez up the line. Kane comes in with a challenge, stabs the ball out of play, and then goes down, suggesting that he was caught there by Rodriguez. The referee says it will be a throw, and actually they're going to make this change as well, with Dennis Zakaria, the former Chelsea man, going to come on into the midfield for Switzerland. But Kane is just feeling that.
Yeah, he gets kicked in the foot just before he plants his foot into the turf, and whether or not just tweaks his ankle a little bit. He's back up on his feet now, and hopefully going to be okay. But
that's Ndoye coming off. So Zakaria, that's the flying Ndoye coming off for Zakaria, who's going to take up a central position. alongside Granit Xhaka in there and Remo Freuler. So he's strengthened the midfield effectively.
Yeah, I mean, he's packed it out a little bit more. We'll have to see how that affects the shape of Switzerland, but still with Akanji in that position. I mean, Granit Xhaka has been dropped very deep in that area, but he is really pulling the strings, just dropping in, getting the ball, trying to get Switzerland moving with little passes and movements. I mean, he's made so many kind of line-breaking passes in this tournament. He really, you can tell he's a player who's had a top season, can't you? He's oozing with confidence, Granit Xhaka.
What about Harry Kane, who's okay, he's back on his feet, but he's laboured again, hasn't he?
Yeah, a little bit, I would say. And I think it's going to be interesting to see when another substitute does happen, or if it happens, where that change is going to be and who it is.
But potentially penalties.
With penalties looming, and you start to think in your head about that now, and have to prepare not only for this part of the game, but also with those penalties as well.
Here's Eza. Eza now takes on a couple of men. Then, with a burst into the Swiss half, it's Cher who's brought him down. It's a free kick. This is Fabian Cher on a yellow card.
Yeah. Well, there's
a strong case there for that to be a second booking.
Well, he's starting to top them up, isn't he? And it's a dangling leg as Eze drops his shoulder and goes behind him. He just stops and puts his leg backwards and trips him over. Now that's two, John. There's one down just before full time in this bottom left-hand corner, and that one, he really is.
As a central defender, Matt, knows what he's doing. He'll have done that.
Well, I wouldn't know about that, John.
You were elegant in the style of Murat Yakin, weren't you?
Yeah, exactly that. No, he is lucky. He is lucky, and I think whether I didn't see the referee, did he have a conversation with him? He must have said one more. You're giving me no option.
Ball is back with Pickford, the England goalkeeper. Here is Walker. Just switched on. We're in extra time in the quarter-final. It's absolutely on a knife edge. 1-1, first period. Bellingham playing the ball back to Pickford. And then Pickford looking up. He's not being put under pressure. Just taps it again, and then with his left foot goes for the long pass to the halfway line, where it's headed by Vidna back into his own half. Here is Kane chasing for it. Kane goes in on the challenge. It bounces out. Palmer's onto that quickly. Palmer then to the pass, slightly behind Saka. Lots of red shirts back for Switzerland though. Saka, I think he's going to take on Aibisha if he can find an opportunity, but they're obviously conscious of him cutting in field as well. Instead, he passes it to Bellingham. Foden tries a shot. That looked a little tired. Blocked by Akanji on the edge of the boxes. Manchester City. The ball's bounced all the way to Saka on the right-hand side between two Swiss defenders. Saka now in the area. Left-footed cross. Headed down and out to Bellingham. Bellingham trying to find the position. Shoots. It's blocked. Back to Bellingham. And it's saved. To his right, Sommer catches the shot.
Well, Switzerland at full stretch. There's a mistake out wide to allow the ball out to Saka. He chips it into the box. As it gets cleared, Bellingham on the ball, goes one way, shot gets blocked. I mean, Granit Xhaka is just desperate. He's on his feet. He then does really well, actually. He's on the floor as Bellingham has another swipe with his left foot, and it spins up in the air for a comfortable catch for Sommer in goal. But Switzerland under real pressure there. I mean, there hasn't been a lot of efforts on target. I think that might have been the third for England. I think Switzerland have had two. They've had so much play and possession, but it hasn't been a game of chances at all.
It has not. Rice with that forcing the fly-in save, and Bellingham there, both in this first period of extra time. Remember that pressure on Switzerland, the expectation, the hope that finally they'll be able to get to a semi-final. That's what all of those Swiss fans to our right are praying for and cheering for. But that pressure's on Switzerland. Big pressure on England as well. It would be seen as a disappointment if England go out at this stage for a second consecutive tournament. Here's Akanji for Switzerland, rolling it to the right-hand side. Zacharia's out there. Zakaria with Eza. And now back to the halfway line to Fabian Cher, who I think can consider him a little fortunate not to have picked up a second yellow card, the Newcastle central defender. Here he is again, Fabian Cher, in possession in the central third of the field. Aibisha makes a run towards the edge of the box, but Cher back to Akanji and then across towards Granit Xhaka.
It's interesting the balance of kind of Rice and Bellingham sat in front of the back five at the moment, very much together in the middle of the park. Foden floating around, Palmer a little bit out on the left, Kane down the middle. mean, we're still not really creating that many opportunities. We've had a lot of possession around the outside of the penalty box, and we moved the ball really nicely, but both teams have defended very well as a group in terms of not allowing that half a yard of space for a shot on goal.
Saka doing well, as you were talking there, Matt, and drawing a foul from Zuba. So a free kick to England, halfway inside their own territory. Netherlands, Turkey to come with Ian Dennis and Chris Sutton from Berlin. That's an 8 o'clock kick-off tonight, Saturday night entertainment. More drama yet here, I feel, almost inevitably. Rice back to Pickford. Pickford is a long way out of his goal. It's a long pass forward for Kane. It's headed infield actually by Akanji. Foden couldn't find the pass back to Harry Kane, and it's cleared downfield by Vidmar.
It's an interesting spot. I mean, Foden, great awareness, knew that Kane was in there. It was a tough ball to execute. Kind of overhead kick, lofting it at the right angle. He just gets the angle wrong there, Foden.
So England have to start again from way inside their own defensive third. Switzerland sitting right off England here. So Pickford can just tap it out to Stones and then forward to Bellingham. Bellingham then rolls it to the left-hand side to Luke Shaw. Now Bellingham again. Bellingham looks up. Foden makes himself available inside his own half, puts his foot on the ball, gives it back to Bellingham. Palmer wants it on the halfway line. Palmer then back to Rice. Bellingham once more demanding the ball. Points Rice forward, which he does. He passes it forward towards Shaw. First 15 minutes of extra time are almost up. England still with the ball on the halfway line. Shaw curls it forward. This is the run of Eza. It's headed up in the air by Cher, who then does well actually. Watch it under his head again to nod it back to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, very composed. He's at full stretch. He nods it up in the air. There's a lot of spin on the ball as well. He knows his surroundings well. They've been very cool, the Swiss, in those situations.
Right, there's half-time and extra time. Last chance now for Gareth Southgate to speak to his men before we head into the final 15 minutes of the quarter-final. England 1, Switzerland 1. Mark Chapman. We're not there yet. Jude Bellingham standing in the middle of the pitch, raising his arms, saying to England supporters, thousands and thousands all around the arena here in Dusseldorf, to try and see if they can lift England to victory before we get to the shootout. Neither of these teams in their history have got a very good record at penalties. We know about England, but Switzerland have lost 3 of their 4 at World Cup or European Championship finals. It's been a clash of heads involving Harry Kane, and the England captain is down holding the back of his head. Ricardo Rodriguez, I think it was, with a challenge, and Kane is he's rubbing the back of his head. It was Granit Xhaka actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a clash of heads actually. Catches him in the back. I mean, it wasn't too bad, but it's one of those that just stings a little bit, and he's just rubbing it off with his hand. He's had a few bumps like that in his time, I'm sure, Harry Kane. But for me, whether either team has got the appetite to take a bit of a risk here, John, or really throw something at this game for 5 or 6 minutes or so and just see if they can force the issue, or whether both are going to be happy just to go, you know what,
England have got the players
to do that, but it's going to take a real effort. It's going to take the kind of bravery and be bold to have a go and try and win it without a penalty shootout. And I think that you could see a little bit of a stale 15 minutes here if we're not careful.
England 1, Switzerland 1. 5 Live, BBC Sounds. It's on BBC One as well. You can match up the pictures to the 5 Live commentary. Just look for Euros Extra, red button, iPlayer, you'll find it. Switzerland, Akanji playing it to Vidmar on the right hand side, then Vidmar goes back towards Fabian Cher. Across it goes. Cher, as he plays that pass, actually he's hobbling, he goes down and he feels his right leg, the Newcastle man. Switzerland with possession on the left-hand side.
You'd think he'd have to come off, John, to be honest, the way he's moving. If there's a substitute lining up there.
Well, actually, it's Shaqiri.
But he may shuffle it about.
So what a story that would be.
Perhaps he's thinking penalties as well there.
Probably. Yeah, Shaqiri, he would fancy it, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would.
Here's Akanji, passing it forward to Granit Xhaka. Switzerland in possession, keeping the ball in the England half, and now attacking down the left-hand side with Rodriguez. Ricardo Rodriguez, 2 England men on him. It's won back by Walker and cleared away by Saka. Kane chases it. Akanji passes it to Granit Xhaka. Kane comes across. He looks as though he's hobbling a bit as well, Harry Kane, I have to say, as England have to drop onto the back foot again. It breaks for Zuba on the left-hand side. Walker trying to get back. Zuba with a left-footed cross. Vidma gets up with a header. It bounces into the back of Eza, and Eza actually comes down and is able to run the ball away.
It just worked out perfectly, didn't it? The ball ricocheted between. It was really nicely done by Eza.
Eza for Kane to chase. I'm not sure he's going to get there before it goes out of play, and actually he loses balance completely. Harry Kane collides with Gareth Southgate, and Kane falls into the England dugout, and I think he might have injured himself. I think he collided with the edge of the England dugout after bumping into Gareth Southgate.
Well, that's bizarre. Gareth Southgate tries to keep him up on his feet, but the way he landed, there's a kind of set of blue boxes, looks like kind of ice or drinks boxes that are right by the bench. He lands on the top of one of those and then awkwardly stumbles to the floor.
I think Gareth Southgate actually caught him, as the two collided.
Yeah.
He actually caught him and stopped Kane from perhaps doing more damage. You might have had a better view of that, Izzy.
Yeah, well, Harry Kane and Akanji have gone in that duel down the channel, and the momentum's just taken them off the pitch, and Harry Kane was already struggling. I heard you just mention there, John, he's definitely got cramp, and I think he's okay from that collision off the pitch, but I think he's struggling with cramp, and he's lucky he went into his manager, not into a cool box, because that could have been painful.
Oh, that he's coming off. Kane can't continue. If there's a penalty shootout, Harry Kane won't be involved in it. It's rather like Mbappe last night, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the change is made, and it's Ivan Toney who's taken the place of Harry Kane.
Yeah, I think the cramp is just too much, and I don't think he hurt himself when he landed, when Gareth just caught him as he was falling into the bench. I think the cramp is quite extreme for Harry Kane, and he knows that A, you've got to run around on the pitch, or B, you don't want that with a penalty, Theo. Surely you're stepping up to a massive moment in your hamstrings, cramping like that.
It's quite
England with Palmer. Toney allows it to run. Palmer dummies as if to shoot. Switzerland have got men back. Foden crosses. Comes to Palmer. Then Eza's behind him. Eberici Eza just flicks it, the Crystal Palace man. Back to Rice. Then Palmer with a cross into the area. Cleared away by Rodriguez on the half volley.
It's interesting to say when Harry Kane came off, there was a bit of a cheer I felt from the England fan. There was felt a bit odd, considering what he's done for the country. But look, it was one of those
it's
things.
More Ivan Toney,
right? Okay.
I think it was more. I think they quite like the impact of Toney. I think that's how I read it.
An interesting reaction, nevertheless. England won, Switzerland won. 10 minutes to go before penalties. Eza begins to move infield. Penalties have been a thread right through the professional life of Gareth Southgate. Rice. Across it goes towards Walker. England, who exited the last Euros in the final on penalties against Italy at Wembley. The Swiss went out of the last Euros on penalties against Spain. Rice. There's a lot of mental damage there.
Yeah. There's a lot of cagey sidewards passes at the moment. Is kind of developing into that 15 minutes of football where neither team wants to lose this game.
England on the attack though. Rice to the left to Eza. Eza's ball across, took a deflection. Xhaka has a look over his shoulder on the edge of the box and then passes it to little Shaqiri, who's come on to replace Embolo. And Shaqiri now, if he can find the pass, but he actually passes it behind Zuma.
pass.
And Walker was able just to move in there, give it to Palmer. Now here's Saka on the right hand side. There's an England man down. England continue the attack though. Palmer, lovely from him, into the area, but then Rodriguez does well. So it goes down with a long barrier, doesn't he? Take the challenge on Palmer.
He just reads it, lays down, literally extends a leg along the floor, and it was absolutely perfect just to stop Cole Palmer, who had built up a bit ahead of steam actually, John. If he goes past Rodriguez there, I think he's in a really good position to create something, but there's a lot going on in the last couple of minutes.
Everybody must be thinking about their 5 England penalty takers now, mustn't they? Toney, Palmer, Bellingham, Saka.
Put Shaw in there?
Maybe. Although I remember him hitting a not terribly convincing penalty somewhere in there. Was that in the Europa League final?
Maybe.
Trying to remember. Declan Rice?
Yeah, Declan Rice, I think he'd be one.
Pickford maybe. He takes a good penalty, doesn't he?
Bad shot in Switzerland.
I've seen it up in person. Not bad at all.
7 minutes to go before penalties. Still time to win this yet for either team and claim a place in the semi-finals. And it is Switzerland coming forward with Zuba. Here's Aebischer on his right foot. Aebischer slips it to Widmer. Widmer's shot is cleared away by Shaw and then volleyed away by Eza in the left back position. Eberici Eza.
That's what I'm talking about. Aebischer finds energy from a moment. I mean, he just all of a sudden went up a gear.
It's not just the cowbells ringing, it's the alarm bells. Here's Aebischer. Aebischer out to the left-hand side. Then the cross from Rodriguez. A long way, all the way over to Schär. Schär goes for goal, but slices it high over the top of Pickford's net into these Swiss fans.
Well, the moment I saw the number 22 on the back of the jersey lining it up, it gave me a little bit of comfort knowing how fatigued Fabian Schär is at the moment. It's a tough ball, it flicks, it's bouncing, it's on the half volley, it's not an easy one to execute, and he just lashes at that ball, goes well over.
I was just going to say, do England need to be thinking about another change? And actually, we see Trent Alexander-Arnold stepping out from underneath the roof of the England dugout. Theo.
I mean, I've been seeing Jude Bellingham sort of stretch his hamstrings quite vigorously, to be honest, and I feel like that could well be the substitution. It's really a big call.
England 1, Switzerland 1. 5 Live, BBC Sounds. We're on BBC One as well. Alan Shearer, Guy Mowbray just behind us. Here is Saka over there on the far side, challenged by Aebischer. It's a throw-in for England. Are they going to make the change now? Yes, I think they are. Fourth official steps forward. The German Daniel Siebert.
It's Foden.
And it is actually Phil Foden, who you would have thought would have been a penalty taker.
I would have said so, but I think they'll have obviously done the penalties in training, in camp. They'll know who the penalties are. They'll have been through that 2 or 3. I mean, it would be a big part of the preparation while you're in camp, these kind of situations. So they're fully aware of, who wants one, who's really confident in having one, and who they feel should be in that situation.
And that's what it is, it's being confident, because you can't replicate this. No. We speak about it all the time. Penalties are just a flip of the coin, and it's something I don't want to see, because I've been in that position before. You know, I'm in memories from Euro 2012 actually, I think, when we played Italy. So that's sort of coming to my mind all of a sudden. So hopefully it's going to be the other way for us today.
Trent Alexander-Arnold ran across and gave Jude Bellingham, I think it's one of those little pouches of
energy.
A
pouch of energy serum.
Energy serum.
There you go.
Dr. Upson strikes again. Right. Where has Alexander-Arnold gone? Right over on the far side, actually.
Yeah.
Here's Walker.
Saka's on the left.
He is. Yeah. And so this is it. We're into the last 5 minutes here in Dusseldorf. England 1, Switzerland 1. We're ready for the finale. Eza switches the ball onto his right foot, but Switzerland just dropping behind. And England now, the challenge is to try and find a way through. Alexander-Arnold with his delivery. It's a heavy first touch as it bounced up into his midriff. Keeps possession. Here is Alexander-Arnold through the middle, outside of his boot, into the edge of the box to Bellingham. Bellingham couldn't find the pass. Walker didn't dive in there as it was bouncing to little Shaqiri, the former Liverpool and Stoke City man, don't forget. And he passes it forward to Zuba, out there on the left. Zuba's crossfield pass. Widmer's onto this. Pickford comes for it. Widmer just runs away from him. England have got men back, and actually Saka deflected out for a corner.
Well, Jordan Pickford throwing his hands up in the air, making funny movement, but he made a difficult decision there. He tried to come for the ball and he stopped it. I think he just about called it in time and got back on his line. It was a lovely spot from Zuba, who's come on for Switzerland to see the space on the right hand side. Really spreads the play nicely and very nearly puts Widmer in.
Well, that excellent little dead ball man Shaqiri is just wiping the ball on his chest. Tiny little chunky man that he is, just steps away, tells the steward to get out of the way. Shaqiri plays it out at the post. Pickford came for it. It struck the post, and Pickford was scrambling there, and it bounced right across off the frame of the goal, out to the far side, and England get away with one.
Incredible. Jordan Pickford gets away with one, because if that goes in, and it very nearly did, it was unbelievable effort from Shaqiri. He's in swing a left foot. He puts all sorts of whip on the ball when he hits it, and that is nearly in the back of the net. What a let-off.
What a let-off for Pickford, for England. England 1, Switzerland 1. Shaqiri, well, our friend Chris Waddle always says that when he used to take corners, he always used to think about scoring from one. And Shaqiri's the same sort of guy with the imagination. Switzerland going to make another couple of changes here. Vincent Sierro is going to come on, the Toulouse captain. So the number 16 is coming on, and the number 20, Abisha, from the left-hand side is off, and Freuler as well coming off, with Zeki Amdouni of Burnley coming on to replace him. So these changes, no doubt, with the penalty shootout in mind, and only a couple of minutes of the 120 to play.
Yeah, I mean, Abish has put a monumental shift in on the left-hand side, and he just found some energy a moment ago to nearly create that chance for Switzerland, and I saw him just fall into a heap in the penalty box afterwards, and I think his race is run in terms of physically. He's put so much into it.
England 1, Switzerland 1. Zuber as Switzerland come forward. A goal now, well, it would flatten England. It would send them out, send them home. Palmer, though, was able to play it forward. Tony chasing, but he won't reach that. Akanji just lets it run, and then passes it forward. Akanji, a potential penalty taker for Switzerland. Remember, at the Euros, they missed 3 of their penalties. But Switzerland now with a chance, and the shot that Pickford saves, diving to his right. It was quite close to him, the effort from Amdouni, the first thing he's done since he's come onto the field, the Burnley man. Rodriguez with a cross, comes off Alexander-Arnold's head, and then on the stretch, the shot is high over the top of the crossbar from Vidma and behind. Goal kick.
Well, you have a feeling that could have gone anywhere. Jordan Pickford racing out of his goal, shouting at his back three, but it spins up in the air, and at full stretch Vidma, I mean, it does go quite high over the crossbar, but it could have gone anywhere. It was a nice hit from Amdouni just before as well. Controls it with his right foot, hits it with his left, it sits up nicely, and Pickford just palming the ball away to safety. But Switzerland having a real go before the end of this game.
Penalties are approaching. 30 seconds of extra time to go. This would be the 4th penalty shootout in Gareth Southgate's 8 years as the manager, as the ball is headed back to Pickford by John Stones. England have won 2 of them under Southgate, but of course lost the one in the final against Italy, which was their last experience of a penalty shootout. Pickford, high and long downfield. Not sure there are going to be any further changes before the end of extra time for England. So what you see is what you get for the penalty shootout. 1 minute of added time. England have got to score now, otherwise face the penalty shootout. Saka on the attack to Eza. Eza now. Shaw on the overlap down the left-hand side. Shaw with a cross, clips it across. Tony couldn't get there. Bounces out to Walker. Kyle Walker, late England pressure here. Uses Alexander-Arnold. Bounces up from him. Plays it back to Walker. Walker beats his man. Still Kyle Walker trying to work it across, but that's cleared away by Sierro. Comes out to England again. I make it 30 seconds to go. Bukayo Saka passes the ball straight into the back of Zakaria, and then it comes back to Saka. This will be the last attack. Eza, England in possession. Stones stuns that ball with his right foot, goes for the long pass forward towards Ivan Toney, who backs away, might have been shoved over by Zuber in the box, but the referee's not interested in that, and it's through for a goal kick, and I think that will be it. 1-1.
Yeah, that will be just a tangle of feet really. Tony backpedaling.
There it is. The final whistle goes here in Dusseldorf. After extra time, England 1, Switzerland 1, and the place in the semi-finals will be decided on a penalty shootout. The 4th penalty shootout England have faced under Gareth Southgate's management. And what happens to him and his team, how he's going to be judged, is all going to be decided by what happens over the course of the next 15 minutes. Well, Jan Sommer, the Inter goalkeeper, remember at the Euros how he saved from Mbappe when Switzerland knocked out the French, the world champions at the time, in a penalty shootout, but then themselves failed in the next round in a shootout. England, they've only won 2 out of 9 penalty shootouts, and they go first with Palmer, who scores! The man who scored 9 penalties for Chelsea this season sends Sommer the wrong way. 1-0 England.
Well, he's a confident young man, but he wouldn't have had many moments like this, if any, and he's a lovely left-footed strike. Simple, that's what I like about it. It's a crisp hit of the ball, but he side foots it to the goalkeeper's right. Really good start from Cole Palmer.
And it's going to be Manuel Akanji, the Manchester City man, who will take the first penalty for Switzerland. Akanji, who 3 years ago in that shootout against Spain had his penalty saved. Jordan Pickford is just being told by referee Osada to go on his line. Pickford's made penalty saves in all 3 of Southgate's shootouts. Pickford bouncing on the line. Akanji, right-footed from the penalty spot for Switzerland. Pickford saves down to his left. And Switzerland, as Pickford salutes, puts his hand to his eyes, does a swagger of a walk. 1-0 England after 1 penalty each.
Well, I wasn't confident in Akanji the way he addressed that ball. It didn't look comfortable. He didn't have much of a run-up. And I think Pickford just read him. And he thought if he goes to that left-hand side, it was a poorly executed penalty, quite central, not too much power. He gets down comfortably and saves that Jordan Pickford. I mean, he is superb in these situations. The confidence is just oozing out of him.
Pickford walking away. These penalties being taken at the England end where their supporters are. And Pickford's getting a great reception over there as he walks away. It's Jude Bellingham of Real Madrid next for England. Big strides back, then steps to his left. Now ready, just composes himself. Takes his time. Bellingham sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. 2-1 England.
Wow. I mean, that is cool as you like. What a situation. This man is not phased. He just slows his run up, little jump in the air, and that is just a side foot. I mean, it's a joke really how calm he is there.
Quick word from Izzy.
Yeah, the penalty save from Pickford on Akanji, right? Pickford made him wait to take it. He delayed his walk to the goal, and I think that's all in his head. He got in his head, and he missed in the end. He made the save.
I mean, the referee's already had a word with him again, John, not to do that.
Yeah, he is. So 2-0 England in the penalty shootout. It's Fabian Schär next. And Pickford has actually walked off his line because I think the plastic cup was thrown down. And now he walked away, and now Fabian Schär of Newcastle United. Up he comes, and Pickford is sent the wrong way. And that is 2-1 England after 2 penalties each.
Yeah, nice penalty. Pickford goes a little bit earlier to his right, and Schär is patient enough to hold out and wait to see that bit of movement. I mean, the tactics Jordan Pickford's putting ahead. I mean, he's making faces at people, he's opening his eyes, he's being awkward, he's trying to unsettle at any moment that he can. And Schär did really well there just to put that away.
So 2-1 England in the shootout. This for a place in the semi-finals, and it's Bukayo Saka now. We know the history here. The man whose penalty was saved by Donnarumma at Wembley. But he has put that behind him for Arsenal, certainly. 5 penalties he scored for Arsenal this season. Bukayo Saka, this will mean an awful lot to him. So much. A short run up on his left foot. Bukayo Saka for England. Still he waits. He's ready now, little steps, and Bukayo Saka scores into the bottom corner, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and that's 3-1 England.
Well, he did take his time, didn't panic, didn't hurry. It almost like soaking up the moment, to be honest, from Bukayo Saka there. Really steadied himself, very calm, left-footed to the keeper's left, his right, just rolls it in that bottom corner, right in the corner as well.
Well, we suspected that Xherdan Shaqiri, the highly experienced Xherdan Shaqiri, the brilliantly talented Xherdan Shaqiri, was going to be taking a penalty, and so it is. Switzerland's third. He backs away now. Jordan Pickford on the line. Shaqiri scores high above the Pickford dive to his left. That's 3-2 now.
Yeah. When you hit a penalty that way, doesn't matter if Pickford goes the right way, which he does. He strikes it so cleanly to Pickford's left, and it's a pretty firm hit, ripples the back of the net right in the corner. Nice penalty from Shaqiri.
Well, part of Ivan Toney's reputation is all about his penalties. He scored 29 out of 31 for Brentford. The last 31 penalties that he's taken. He's already scored a penalty for England in the March internationals, and now Ivan Toney. England have scored 3 out of 3 so far. This to keep the record going. Ivan Toney stands and stares at Sommer on the line, and now Toney comes up right-footed and right into the bottom corner. High class from Ivan Toney.
Oh my goodness, this guy, I mean, he's just so calm. You can tell he's actually giving the goalkeeper the eyes. He's looking at him straight in the face when he hits that ball. Almost, you don't know where I'm going to go, do you? And I'm going to look you in the eye even when I hit the ball. He's not looking at the ball. It's an incredible confidence this guy has with penalties. It's like he's just never going to miss in that situation.
I'm lost for words for this guy taking penalties. It is an absolute blessing to see. Kids are, and that's how you take penalties.
It's a major skill.
Well, if Amdouni of Burnley is not able to score this, then England have won it. The late substitute, Zeki Amdouni, relegated with Burnley this season. A straight run-up, moves out to his left, little steps, and Amdouni does play it right down the middle to make it 4-3 in the shootout, but that means that Trent Alexander-Arnold has the chance to win it for England. He's the man who's leaving the players on the halfway line and walking forward.
Well, massive moment for him. Amdouni uses the stutter to force Pickford to go early and strokes it in an empty net, but what's going through Trent Alexander-Arnold's head at this moment? Not been on the field that long, but long enough to get his bearings, to get into the rhythm. Huge moment for him.
Well, here it is. Dry mouths, beating hearts, high tension all around the stadium here in Dusseldorf. Trent Alexander-Arnold puts the ball on the spot, and the Liverpool man now to score this, to send England into the semi-final. Still he waits. Up he comes and drives it in, and England are through. They've coughed and spluttered all of their way through Euro 2024. But Gareth Southgate is mobbed by his coaches. The England players race from the halfway line and chase after Trent Alexander-Arnold. England win the shootout 5-3, but somehow they're through to the last 4. And the England fans in the stands are on their feet, they're twirling their scarves. The England players celebrating down on the pitch. And it does go on. It goes on to Dortmund for Gareth Southgate, who turns to Murat Yakin and consoles him. And Southgate's 100th match as the England manager ends in great drama, but also in success. Down pitch side now, Izzy Christiansen.
Wow, is all I can say. These fans have gone absolutely wild. I don't know if you can see from up there, but there's some stood on the tier. Sweet Caroline's just come on in the stadium. What scenes. Just one save needed from Jordan Pickford. Unbelievable.
Well, he saved penalties in all 4 of Gareth Southgate's penalty shootouts, and that stop from Akanji for Switzerland's first penalty. That was crucial, and England, Theo Walcott, score 5 out of 5.
Oh, goodness me. And the class of Jude Bellingham right now, and Kyle Walker and Declan Rice going over to the Switzerland players just to congratulate how well they've played today, and just to console them, because obviously that feeling missing the penalty, like I said before, someone has to miss, and someone's always going to be disappointed. There's a lot of disappointing fans, of course, but they've got to be proud, the Switzerland fans, of their team. They've performed fantastically well. They've taken England all the way.
Yeah,
and I'm lost right now.
You do. You also have to feel for Switzerland. Yet again, they've fallen at either the round of 16 or the quarterfinals.
Just incredible. This Euros goes on and on for England in such a bizarre fashion. We have to touch on the penalty from Alexander-Arnold, though, John. Whew. What a hit that was. Absolutely great. We know how good his right foot is, but to stick it away like that in that moment takes a lot. So credit for him to stepping up and hitting such a good penalty.
Well, we know that he's a great striker of the ball, and that was a great strike of the ball to win it for England. It's finished 1-1 after after extra time, and England, for the third time under Gareth Southgate incidentally, win a penalty shootout. 5-3 the score, and that means that man down there in the cream shirt, the much maligned, much criticised Gareth Southgate, becomes the first man to steer England as the manager into 3 tournament semi-finals. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.